You are watching Eswatini TV, Sibuko Semaswati.
Good afternoon and welcome to Home Study, our tele-education program. My name is Lirato Mabilisa and as always, I am not alone. I am with Nogwazi Lamini, my colleague, who is looking very stunning these days. Good afternoon and how are you, Nogwazi?
I'm good. Good afternoon to the viewers. Good afternoon, Lirato. I'm doing good today and feeling good.
I can see. Please tell us about today's timetable.
Well, viewers, today's timetable is jam-packed as always, and we hope that you are ready to actually learn. So starting from now at 2 p.m. until 2:30 in the afternoon is social studies for grade 7. Then from 2:30 until 3:08 in the afternoon is literature and English for the Form 3s. 3:08 to 3:45 is additional mathematics for the Form 3s. From 3:45 until 4:25 p.m. is biology for Form 5. Then from 4:25 to 5 in the afternoon, which is 5 p.m., is religious knowledge for the Form 5s.
Okay, thank you very much. So, grade 7s, Form 3s, and Form 5s, I hope you are ready to start today's lessons. Nogwazi, please tell the viewers, or rather remind them about our social media platforms.
Yes, just to remind you, like Lerato has just said, we are live on YouTube and on Facebook. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to ask us on our WhatsApp number. Ask questions, please do not call us. I cannot emphasize this enough. Lerato, remind them about our repeat programs.
Well, unfortunately, I can't do that because I was told not to for some time.
All
so
right.
We'll inform you once the repeats are there again. But for now, no repeats, guys. No repeats.
Okay. All right, viewers. I hope that you are ready. Grade 7s is your time now. Lerato will be right back with the social studies teacher, Miss Kukunhlego. We'll be right back after this.
Kids, wash your hands so you can come in and have lunch.
Okay, Mom.
Tabo, apply some soap. You shouldn't just use water only.
But my hands aren't dirty, Nolwazi.
Just because your hands don't look dirty doesn't mean they're clean. We need to wash our hands regularly with soap and running water for at least 20 seconds, just like teacher taught us, so that all virus-causing germs and bacteria are washed away.
Tabo, listen to your sister, baby. It's important to always wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Like right now before we eat, after using the toilet, after touching animals, or after changing a nappy. We must also clean our surfaces and toilet seats with disinfectant.
Guys, it's time to wash our hands. Wash our hands. Wash our hands. Dirt and germs don't stain the germs. Germs bye-bye. First the water, then the soap. And you scrub all your palms. Scrub your fingers till they clean. Rinse and dry.
Guys, I'm home.
Welcome back, honey.
This is your 1 p.m. news update brought to you by Victor Silombo. In the news today, we'll speak a little bit more about COVID-19, a disease that's infectious and causing problems all over the world. COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by the coronavirus. The disease can spread from person to person through small droplets from the nose or mouth, which are spread when a person with COVID-19 coughs or exhales. These droplets land on objects and surfaces around the person, and other people then catch COVID-19 by touching these objects and surfaces, then touching their eyes, nose, or mouth. Here's a few simple precautions that you can follow to reduce your chances of being infected or spreading COVID-19. Regularly and thoroughly clean your hands with an alcohol-based hand rub or wash them with soap and water. Cover your mouth and nose with your flexed elbow or use a tissue when you cough or sneeze. Then dispose of that used tissue immediately in a dustbin. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Maintain a social distance of at least 1 meter between yourself and everyone else. Drink copious amounts of water to make sure your body is hydrated. And remember, if you develop a fever, a cough, or have difficulty breathing, call 977. Stay safe, stay home.
Kids, I hope you are listening carefully. It's very important that we take these precautions very seriously, so we all avoid catching or spreading COVID-19. So, we must stay home for our safety. Okay?
Yes, Dad.
Welcome back, viewer. You still tuned in to Home Study on Eswatini TV. And would like to say sorry for the timetable that was given to you earlier. The correct timetable is that firstly, we have social studies for the grade 7 learners, followed by science for the JC learners, Form 3s, followed by Eswatini for the Form 3 learners again, and then the Form 5 learners will have physics and chemistry. Let me repeat that again. We will have Eswatini for the we will have social studies for the grade 7s. We will have science for Form 3s, Eswatini for Form 3s, physics and chemistry for Form 5s. My name is Lirato Mabilisa, and with me in studio is our social studies teacher, Gugu Nhlego. Am I correct, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, Lerato. How are you?
I'm alright, ma'am.
I'm fine too.
Also joining us in studio are our sign language interpreters, Nompumelelo Hadebe and Tobile Fagutse. Ma'am, today's topic is population, and population is the amount of people in an area. So what would you like the learner to have learned by the end of the lesson?
Good afternoon, viewers at home. Today we are going to talk about population. So what you are expected to know before the end of at the end of the lesson is defining the terms. And which are those terms? Population, census, population distribution, population density, population growth, population birth rate and death rate, immigrant, emigrant, and overpopulation. Another thing that you have to know at the end of the lesson is discussing the conditions that push and also pull people to a place, or factors that control the distribution of population. And another thing that you have to know at the end of the lesson is calculating population density. And another thing that you need to also know, which is very important, stating the bad effects or results of overpopulation, and also explaining the 3 factors causing population changes. For example, the increase and the decrease.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. It seems like it's going to be an interesting lesson for the grade 7s. Grade 7s, get all your materials together, your notebook, your pens, and ma'am, please can we start the lesson?
Okay. Viewers at home, let us look at the keywords that we are going to use in this lesson. Population, census, population distribution, population density, birth rate, death rate, overpopulation, immigrant, and emigrant. So now we are on the topic itself. As you look from your TV this afternoon, we are looking at a picture here which is involving the whole world. As it is involving the whole world, we are talking about population. So according to the United Nations, we are looking at the population at large. The world population is about 7.8 billion people, as you see them in the picture. And also, we are now looking at Eswatini. What is the population of Eswatini? We find that the population of Eswatini is just 1.1 million people who are living in Eswatini. And another thing, what does this population consist of? We find that this population consists of children or young people of ages 0 to 14 years. They form a greater percentage of our population with a low working group. And mind this, with a low working group and few old people, which are aged 65 years and above. Another thing that you have to know now, we are looking at the terms because we said the keywords, they are very important. As they are important, we should know the keywords here. We are talking about population. We said population, it is the total number of people who live in a specific area. And what are we talking about when we talk about area? We are referring to the world. We are also referring to the continent. It can be a country, it can be a region, or a town or a village. I hope the learners are following what I am saying. And now let us talk about the census, population census. What are we saying about population census? We are talking about an official count of people living in a country by a government. A census is done. This is very important because you can ask yourself, when is this census done? It is done after every 10 years. Why? To update the records. For instance, from 1997 to 2007, and from 2007 to 27, and you can count 10 years from there. That is very, very important because we have to know when is this census done. And another point here, or another term that you have to know, is population distribution. What do we mean by population distribution? We are referring to the spatial spread of the population in a country. Then we are looking at this other term, which is now population density. As we are talking about population density, we are talking about the total number of people per square kilometer or unit area of land. As we continue, the terms are so many, so you have to always watch and look what is happening here. Another thing is we are talking about the growth of the population. What do we mean by that? We are talking about the increase or the decrease of the population. And now again, we are looking at the birth rate. Maybe some cannot understand. What do you mean by birth rate? We are talking about the total number of live births per 1,000 women per year. Some may ask themselves, why women? We are saying women because they are the ones who are giving birth. So now let us look at the death rate. We are talking about the total number of people who die per 1,000 per year. As we know these days, we've got COVID-19 and a lot of people are dying. That tells one that the population is going to decrease. So let us look at the immigrants. We are talking about the people who come into a country, e.g., for instance, we are talking about the Mozambicans who are always our cousins, let me say. They are cousins or our brothers who are always here in Eswatini. And now let's talk about the immigrants. What are we talking about when we talk about immigrants? We are talking about people who move out of a country, e.g., a Maswati who live in other countries. We are always knowing that a Maswati, they always go out of the country sometimes because of greener pastures. Let's talk about overpopulation. when we are saying we have got a lot of people in an area, we are referring that we are talking about the population in a country which is more than the resources or the means of living. As we have understood about the definitions, now we are going to look at some factors which pull or push people to a certain place. As I have said earlier on, that if population changes from one place to another, some places have high population while others have low population. We are going to tell you that why do we have a high population and why do we have a low population. So in Eswatini, for instance, the Middelveld is having a high population. Why is that? Because it has more things that pull people, while the Lowveld has a low population because it has got more factors that are pushing people away. As I have said that some places have got high population. We are making an example of Matsapa here. Why is Matsapa having a high population? We are saying Matsapa is having a high population because there are some factories, which means people, they move from where there are no jobs to where they think they will find jobs. So Matsapa is one place whereby there are a lot of factories, and that is why then Matsapa is experiencing high population compared to Lavumesa. Now let us look at these factors which are pulling people or pushing people to a place. Looking at the climate here, we are saying people prefer places with moderate temperatures and more rainfall. Why is that? It is because some people have got illnesses which do not need heat. So if those people are being affected by heat, obvious, they are going to move. They are going to leave the area with the climate which is hot and go for a place where the climate is moderate. And another point which is very, very crucial here, we are talking about water availability. As we know that water is essential. If we are saying is an essential commodity, everyone can't live without water. So people cannot live without water. So places with enough water tend to have a high population. So again, there are other factors here. As we are continuing, looking at this picture here, we are looking at this picture because now we are going to deal with the shape of the land or the relief. As you look at this picture here, you find that there is a flat area here and there is a mountainous area this side. Why is that? We are saying people are being attracted to gentle sloping areas and they avoid mountainous areas. Why is that? Is because whenever they want to construct maybe a house or they want to farm, it costs them if the place is mountainous because they had to hire graders who will level the place. On the other hand, when the place is just gentle, sloping, it is easy for them to construct whatever they want to construct. Let us look at the road networks or communication here. We are saying places that are close to tar roads attract more people than areas with gravel roads. Why is that? We can just make an example of people buying a lot of cars. As they buy a lot of cars, they always want to have good condition of their cars. So if they will buy a car which will not be in a position to be used on gravel roads, it will easily get damaged. Whereas when you are living in places where there is tar road, it will last long. Okay, let us talk about fertile soils. Fertile soils, areas with fertile soils pull more people. Why? It is because they will benefit, they will get more yield when they are cultivating the crops. Lerato, are you still following? Are you still enjoying what we are doing here? Yes. So we are still continuing here, talking about the factors which pull or push people to a place. Viewers at home, as you can look at this picture, which is on the right hand side here, we are saying the presence of minerals. Minerals like gold, diamond lead to mining. And mining does what? Mining creates jobs. For instance, Swaziland was once having a mineral called diamond. And this diamond was mined at Gatogolwago. And a lot of people were going to Gatogolwago. Why? Because they wanted to be employed. They were looking for employment. And also they wanted to have something which will make them tomorrow something. Okay, now talking about employment opportunities, as I have stated here, areas with more jobs does what? Attract more people. For instance, Matapa. As I have stated earlier, that Matapa, viewers at home, as you are listening or looking at what we are doing here, we are saying a lot of jobs are being created at Matapa, and that is why a lot of people are found there.
Oh, thank you very much, ma'am. The lesson seems very interesting, and I'm sure the viewer at home is participating. Can we take a quick commercial break so you can get some water, so that the viewer at home can also take a little bit of a breather, and we'll be right back.
Thank you, Lerato.
Yes.
When we talk of screening, basically, this is a preventative measure of finding out if there's any problem that may present as a result. So when you screen, you're trying to find out whether it exists or not, the problem. So in our case, the idea of screening is to ensure that everyone does not present with high temperature. So anyone who's presenting with higher temperature than usual is then picked up, and then from then on you'll then be tested to make sure that you have the virus or not. That is the main difference.
Eswatini sibambisene kulwa nekwanza kweligciwane le-corona.
Learn to cough and sneeze with your pal Grover. Step 1. Realize you are about to sneeze. Step 2. Move your elbow towards your nose and mouth. Step 3. Bless you. 1, 2, 3. Remember to cough and sneeze into your arm or elbow, not your hands.
Welcome back, viewer, to an interesting lesson. We are still learning social studies for grade 7s, and you're still tuned in to Eswatini TV. Don't forget that we are also live on YouTube and Facebook. Ma'am, the viewer at home has a question for you. And the question is, what is the importance of conducting a census as a country?
It is important to conduct a census so that the government knows how many people are there in that country, so that the resources are being supplied and they are enough for everyone.
Okay, thank you very much for that, ma'am. Viewer at home, I hope that you heard what ma'am said. Ma'am, can we continue with the lesson?
Okay, viewers at home, let us continue. We last talked about employment opportunities. Areas with more jobs attract more people. We made an example of Matsapa. And there is another point that talks about political unrest. Wars and religious persecution force people to leave their places. Let us make an example of people living in Mozambique. They left Mozambique because there were wars and they ran for cover here at Eswatini, and we accommodated them. And the last point that talks about the pull and the push factor, we are talking about natural disasters like drought, like floods, like earthquakes, which force people away from their places to live as refugees. I think no one would love to stay in a place that has drought or floods, because we are all running for cover here. No one wants to die. Do you all understand, learners at home? You must always make sure that you understand it clearly, these factors which pull and push people away. Okay, let's continue. Let us talk about population density. It is the total number of people found per square kilometer of land. So we have got a way of calculating population density. We are saying the total population divided by a total area in square kilometers. For instance, here we are making an example of Eswatini. We know that the total area of Eswatini is 17,000 square kilometers with a population of 1.1 million people. So as I have stated earlier, that when you are calculating population density, you say the population, total population divided by the total area. So here in this example, we are saying now the total population is 1.1 million people divided by 17,000, which is the square kilometers. Then it comes up with 65 people per square kilometers. Okay, let's continue then. Let's talk about places with a high population density. We describe such places as densely populated. For instance, Manzini. For instance, now when we are looking at COVID-19, a lot of people are in Manzini. Why? Because the people in Manzini are too many compared to the other regions. Then the next point is places with a low population density. We are saying those places are referred to as sparsely populated, like places like Sitobela or Lavumisa. A lot of people move away from such places and they come and live in the urban area. So now, let's continue. Why does population keep on changing? We are saying population keep on changing because of some factors. People never remains the same, but it is either they are increasing or decreasing. Population is what makes the population to increase? We are saying the population increase by a high birth rate. What do we mean by a birth rate? We are talking about the total number of babies born per 1,000 people per year. So if there are a lot of children that are born, obvious, the population is going to increase. Then when we talk about the population density here, we are referring to a high death rate. The total number of people who die per 1,000 people per year. As we are now looking at what COVID-19 is doing, the population, obvious, it is going to decrease because a lot of people are dying. For instance, in the USA, a lot of people are killed by this pandemic. 66,000 people are no more today as we talk. And that is why we are saying America now will have a low population compared to the one they used to have. Okay, migration. We are talking about migration here. We are saying migration changes the population. How? If there are more immigrants living in Mozambique and Indians have increased the Eswatini population, we are saying a lot of Mozambicans here and the Indians have increased Eswatini's population. You can tell by the mere things that are happening around. And more immigrants reduces the population. I hope every viewer is looking at the things that are happening around. And now we are going to talk about overpopulation and shortage of resources like transport. As you look at this picture here, there are a lot of people. Maybe some of you can't even see that this is a train, but because the people are crowded around it, they all need transport. That is why you cannot notice it, that it is a train, which means there are a lot of people. Okay, now as we are talking about overpopulation and its results or bad effects, what are we saying about overpopulation? What causes overpopulation? We are saying a high birth rate with a low death rate leads to a high population growth. I hope viewers are noticing this. We are saying what causes overpopulation? It is the high birth rate with a low death rate, which leads to high population growth. This means that the population grows faster and these people need resources, because if there are a lot of people, you can't just put people without giving them what they need. So make sure that whenever someone is added, even in a family, you know that if one is added, there is a lot that is needed, because that particular one which is added will need food, will need to go to school, will be sick and needs to go to hospitals. And another point is, we are saying, when we are talking about overpopulation, we are saying if a fast-growing population is not controlled, we need to control the fast-growing population, because it leads to overpopulation. That is why sometimes family planning is there for such, to help us reduce or control the growing population. So overpopulation at last is when the population is more than the resources. Because as I have said earlier on, there can be a lot of people, but if the resources are not enough, it is not healthy and it is not good. So there are these bad effects then that will be the outcome, that if the population is too much, there is a high rate of unemployment. If you go to Matsapa, you can test or you can tell. A lot of people are, even today, they are seeking for employment. And why is that? It's because the population is high. And again, there is poor sanitation and pollution. Again, I will always make an example of Matsapa or Gakhoza. The place there is crowded, and as it is crowded, then you find that sanitation is not good at all. And that is why we are saying overpopulation leads to poor sanitation. And the next point is lack of safe drinking water. You find that even if there is a well around that place, because there are a lot of people who needs water, you'll find that the people are not taking care of that well which is close to them, and thus lead to lack of safe drinking water. And another point is shortage of land for settlements and farming. Since there are a lot of people, every place when you go, there's a place called Nzevane in Matsapa. every place is full of houses, one-room houses or one-bedroom house, whatever, then you'll find that the people there won't have land to farm. And there is nothing that you can do to show that these people get enough land to do whatever they want to do. And another point is starvation and malnutrition due to shortage of land. Since there is no land to farm, obvious people will starve and people will suffer from malnutrition. And the next point is you find that schools are overcrowded. You find that in a class you'll find 60 or more. Why? Because the population is high. Then you'll find that there is shortage of clinics and hospitals. There will be no space for someone. For instance, if you are sick, then you are taken to hospital. Even if your illness is severe, they will not make you sleep there. Why? There is no space for you. The population is high. And lastly, deforestation and soil erosion. We are saying if we continue cutting the trees now and again, and we leave the soil bare, whenever there is rain coming or pouring, obvious, because there are no trees now, the soil is going to be washed away. Okay, in conclusion, dear learner, may you please take your exercise book now and look at these questions that are here for you to answer. What is population? Because you have to know what is population density, and what is overpopulation. And another question is that you have to explain 3 reasons why Manzini has a high population. As I have stated earlier on, that Manzini is one place that is found in the center. That is why sometimes it is called the hub. Why the hub? Is because everyone, whether you want to go to Mbabane, you first go to Manzini, then to Mbabane. You want to go to Nhlangano, you come to Manzini, then you go to Nhlangano. That is why then we are saying it is experiencing high population. And the third question is, Mbabane has an area of 150 square kilometers. Remember how density is calculated? And estimated population of Mbabane is 66,000 people. Then calculate the density for Mbabane. Remember, we said total population over the total area of that place. And fourthly, we are saying state the 3 factors that cause people to increase. Here we are talking about the pull and the push factors. And lastly, we are discussing the 4 problems of overpopulation. What are the problems of overpopulation? We spoke about sanitation problem. We also spoke about deforestation and soil erosion. All those are problems or results of overpopulation. Thank you, Lerato.
Okay, you're very welcome, ma'am. I hope the viewer at home learned something from today's lesson. But before we go, ma'am, there's a question from the viewer which says, what is population density? And another's asking how we calculate population density.
Okay, I said population density is calculated by looking at the total number of people living in that particular area over the total area of that particular place. So said population density, it is the total number of people found per square kilometers of land. And when you calculate population density, you say total population divided by total area in square kilometers. Is that all, Lerato?
Yes, ma'am. And
Okay.
you've also explained what population density is, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you very much for being with us today, and thank you very much for the great lesson. View at home, stay back because the Form 3 lessons are coming up next with Nogwazi Dlamini.
Itolo sike sahlaselwa sifo se-HIV and AIDS. Laba kubita ngemagama lamanengi umbulalave, labanye bathi lugola, labanye babita ngalolu bizo. Sachitha isikhathi sikhuluma ngokuthi kuyini lokho. Kwabulala sive leyo nto leyo nalamhla lokhu asikaphumi kulobo bulukhuni lobo. Ngitsike namhlanje bekungaba kuhle ukuthi eMaswati acabange ukuthi siphumaphi lobuhlungu lebusuka kubo naloku lesesingena kuko nyalo tingakapholi tilonza tayitolo. Na ukuhlanganisa kokubili lokhu utacabanga umuntu ngamunye ukuthi na ungabuka lele sikubonile itolo nasitawehlula lenzaba ye-AIDS sithi inkosi ithi inzaba yethu sonke asiphume sibambe nalamuhla singakunqoba lokho sisebenzise nathi into lesithibona intolo leti sente saphumelela kulwana nalegciwane naleli singalinqoba naku lokufunekako nguwe lokufanele uticabangele ukuthi ufuna kuphila yini noma ufuna kwentani ngalesikhathi nguwe lokufanele usukume uticabangele ukuthi ufuna kwentekene esihlotsheni sakho nguwe lokufanele usukume ucabange ukuthi ufuna kwentekene emangweni lophila kuwo nguwe lofuneka usukume ubuke ukuthi yini lofuna yenteke kubantu losebenta nawo nguwe lokufanele usukume ucabange ukuthi yini lofuna kukwenta ukuze lesive seMaswati siphile longakwenta kulalela tinkulumo leti takuphephisa letinengi tato atidzingi namali tifuna nje wena wedwa futhi uthi lamuhla ngitawusukuma ngente konke lokusemandleni ngilwe negciwane le-COVID-19 ngoba litawubulala sive.
Eswatini sibambisene kulwa nekwanza kweligciwane le-corona.
The basic protective measures against the new coronavirus. Wash your hands frequently and thoroughly with soap and water or use alcohol-based hand rub. Maintain social distancing. Maintain at least 1 meter distance between yourself and anyone who is coughing or sneezing. Avoid touching eyes, nose, and mouth. Hands touch many surfaces and can pick viruses. Once contaminated, hands can transfer the virus to your eyes, nose, or mouth. From there, the virus can enter your body and make you sick. Practice respiratory hygiene. Make sure you and the people around you follow good respiratory hygiene. This means covering your mouth and nose with your bent elbow or tissue when you cough or sneeze. Dispose the used tissue immediately. If you have fever, cough, and difficulty breathing, seek medical help early. Stay home if you feel unwell. Follow the directions of your local health authority. Stay informed and follow advice given by your healthcare provider.
A very good afternoon to our viewers and a very warm welcome to those who have just joined us. Right at this moment, we are doing Form 3 Science lesson, and joining me in the studio is Nompumelelo Matsebula, who is going to teach the Form 3 Science class. Also joining me is our sign language interpreter, Linda Mamba. Nompumelelo, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm fine, Wazi, and you?
I am good.
Thank you so
I'm well.
much.
So, what is today's lesson about?
Today's lesson is about matter,
Mm-hmm.
atoms, elements, and compounds.
Okay, what do you expect your Form 3 back home to learn at the end of this lesson?
So, from today's lesson, we should be able, that is, both of us,
Mm-hmm.
me and you, learner at home, we should be able to define an atom,
Okay,
define a molecule, and a compound,
okay.
then describe a periodic table,
Mm-hmm.
and be able to list the elements that are found in the periodic table,
Okay,
and describe how the symbols of elements are formed and used to construct some simple equations.
all right, okay. Form 3s, I hope that you are ready for your lesson, and I hope that you do remember that we are live on YouTube and on Facebook. And if you have any questions, please feel free to use our WhatsApp number. Form 3s, get ready for your lesson. Nombomelelo, I'm gonna let you start with your lesson now.
Thank you, Nawasi.
Thank you.
Okay, the last, like we have said, the topic is still on matter, atoms, elements, and compounds. This topic we started studying it on our previous lesson with me. Yes, it is into different concepts. So the last time we were talking of changes of states of matter mainly, but now we want to look at these particles that make up this matter. Generally, all things that we see and use are made up of either the atoms, or they are made up of molecules and compounds. Generally, those are the smallest particles that make up the matter. And this topic is more important because it is a make-up of all the different materials, including the things that we use. Right now, we are talking of COVID. There is that virus. The virus we are talking about, we cannot see it with our naked eyes. Hence, we are saying this topic is going to help us or equip us to understand that things are made up of smaller particles. If they are made up of smaller particles, then we are able to take the correct means so that we are not affected by these particles. Now, particles in action. What does that mean? Or what comes to mind when we say particles in action? As I have already talked of COVID. Do you see it? None can say there is the COVID virus by mere looking. So, think of this question then. What causes one to sneeze in a dusty house? Or, at times, why do we shed tears when we chop onions? Really? We have said there is matter, which is made of smaller particles. These particles now are in play, hence you would be sneezing or even shedding the tears. So they are affecting us, but they are invisible. We cannot see them. They are either living things or non-living things. The particles of matter, we've said, are made of either atoms, molecules, elements. So let us look at each of these. What are these atoms? Atoms, these are the smallest particle of matter. They can't be seen with our naked eyes, as already mentioned. Even if we view them through the microscopes that we use in the lab, we cannot see them. Hence, we need some very powerful microscopes, which we don't have in our school laboratories. The atom, like an organ in your body, is one part that makes up matter, but it is further made up of smaller particles. So this is the structure of an atom. This structure of atom is made of the center, which is called the nucleus. A nucleus is made of two types. As you can see the colors, we have two types of smaller particles in the atom, which are called the proton, that is positively charged, and we have the neutron, which has no charge, hence the zero, it is neutral. Around the center or the nucleus we have orbits or shells, as indicated by the arrow. They are revolving within these shells. We have electrons, and they are negatively charged. This you will study them further when we are dealing with the topic of electricity in Form 3. But for now, we are just summarizing what I have talked about on the previous slide. So these subatomic particles I have already mentioned within the atom. We've said we have the nucleus as the center with the protons and neutrons, and then we are saying there is no charge, hence it is neutral. Positively charged, where we wrote the plus for positively charged. And then the shells revolving around the nucleus, we have the electrons that are negatively charged. It's a minus sign and a plus sign as the positive and negative signs, and we write them with small prefix up on the or next to a number if we are saying how many they are in that particular atom. These subatomic particles we've already mentioned, they have masses, but generally the electrons have very small mass. Protons have a mass that is larger than that of electrons, and it is the same mass for the neutrons. So the protons and the nucleus in the center, they carry or they have the same mass generally. Now the atoms, we have said as smallest particles that make up matter, they will combine to form different substances. The first substance that is formed when the atoms combine is called the molecules. Molecules. What are these molecules? A molecule is defined as two or more of the atoms chemically combined. Before they are combined are just atoms. They should combine so they are forming a substance. Here we have an example of a molecule for water. Yes, we have used the symbols to represent this. Water is made of hydrogen atoms and oxygen atoms to form a molecule. Others could be, this is carbon dioxide, a molecule for oxygen gas, and a molecule for sodium chloride and hydrochloric acid. As you can see, we are saying they are a combination of two or more atoms, and we are saying they are combined chemically. This structure we have here is showing us a combination of one oxygen combined with two hydrogen as a molecule for water. We may think of a molecule as that particle in water which exists as water, not when we see water now poured down there. It is still a small particle, we can't see it with our naked eyes. Then what are elements? Elements, on the other hand, an element is a substance which is made up of only one kind of atoms. Made of only one kind of atom. Going to the previous slide, we can choose which one is made of only one kind of atom. Here you can see we have O2, which is oxygen and oxygen, so only one kind. But when you look on at the others, we have H combining with Cl, which means there are now more than one type. Besides that, there are more than one atom. So the kind must be the same. That is the main difference between a molecule and an element. It is one mixing with or combining with another, but yes, they are combining. If they are the same atoms that are combining, then what comes out will be an element. Examples of elements include that of hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. They are all gases, and we say diatomic because in each you can see there is that prefix 2, which means 2 of the oxygens have combined here, 2 of the hydrogen atoms have combined here, and 2 of the nitrogens have combined. So the next structure is we are showing the combined oxygen. They have bonded to form what we call an oxygen element. When it is one, you can see the combination here. We have two where there is combination. The oxygen this side and the oxygen on the other side, they are green from the other atom. So we are talking of a combination of atoms to form a new substance, an element in this case. Why? Because they are the same kind of atoms. We'll talk about the compounds now. Can I give this opportunity to Nogwazi for a while?
All right, sorry about that. Can we take a little bit of a break? We'll be back just after a couple of minutes. Viewers will be right back after this.
Thank you.
igciwane le-corona.
Welcome back to our viewers, and for those who have just joined us, I am Nogwazi Dlamini, and you are still tuned in to Eswatini TV doing our program Home Study. Right now, it's the Form 3 Science lesson with Nombumelelo Matebula. Nombumelelo, I'll let you carry on with your lesson.
Thank you, Nogwazi. We continue our lesson. We have looked at the particles that we have said when atoms combine, they form. We have looked at the two. Those are the elements and the molecules. So now the other substance that is formed when these atoms combine, they will be the compounds. So what are compounds generally? Compound is a substance which is made up of two or more, this time elements, not the atoms, two or more elements that are also chemically combined. Let me emphasize these elements as compared to the other two where we were talking of particles. That was just the atoms combining to form either the molecule or forming the element. Now the elements are forming a compound. Here are examples of compounds. We have carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is formed with elements which are carbon and element oxygen. The elements carbon and element oxygen. Yes, here we are shown that it is one carbon element, one, and oxygen, there are two. But at your level, we don't mind that much what we are talking about as how many are combined. Only when we discuss this, it may be in your Form 4 when you study chemistry, where you will need to analyze further what do we mean by the CO2. Okay, these compounds we are talking about, they are having chemical properties which are now different from the properties of the elements that this compound is made up of. We have said carbon dioxide is made of the elements carbon and element oxygen. So when we study properties of carbon and properties of oxygen, they will be different from when now we have carbon dioxide, which means carbon dioxide is a totally new substance which is now different from the carbon or oxygen elements. When these symbols are combined, they form what we call a chemical formula. All along we've been saying we're giving the letters either oxygen. For oxygen we're giving either O. Then now we are saying what we have as CO is called a formula. Once we have combined elements, what comes out in a compound will be a formula. Let's just round up what we have been looking above. That is what is meant by an atom, a molecule, compound, and element. Okay, first question says differentiate between an atom and a molecule. These two we have already studied, but now we want you to answer those questions. Just a second, it won't be long. I know you are clever enough, you have seen this. I am expecting you to be able to answer this one. The second question is classify the following as either compounds or elements. Unfortunately, my slide this time we have failed to show correctly the N2 and O2. It should be capital letter N and a small 2, and again here should be a H and a small 2 a bit below, not in line with the letter. So I think you have the answers now. What is the difference between the two? Okay, an atom we have said is the smallest particle of matter, whilst a molecule on the other hand is a particle too. It is a particle which is made up of two or more atoms that are chemically combined. From the list, the examples of compounds are sodium chloride and hydrochloric acid. For elements, we have the H2 and N2. So now let us study a periodic table where we find these elements. The periodic table. This is a table used to classify all elements that we have now, and the columns are what we call groups in the periodic table, the columns, and the rows in your periodic table we call them periods. We will see this on our diagram on periodic table. In your level, we need to discuss group 1 and group 8 elements only in a bit of details. Elements are presented in the names and in symbols. Like we have seen, I was writing NaCl. An element will be Na and the other will be Cl. So elements are presented in the names and symbols, but for your level also, you stick only on the first 20 elements in the periodic table. The first 20 elements, which is we are moving from 1, we are going to 2, 3, 4, up to you end at 20. How do you know which ones are 1 to 20? You consider the number on top using this periodic table, which is called the atomic number. Again, you won't be talking much about that. So we consider those numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 20. So you only consider period 1, period 2, period 3, and only these 2 elements in period 4. But the groups we are talking about is group 1. We have said the columns, groups, group 1, group 2, group 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At times they say it's group 0. It's group 8. As we have said, I've not included this, though you know that when you talk of the periodic table, the elements are either metals or non-metals. Some are gases and liquids, but that you will see in your books, obvious. Okay, let us consider these 2 groups as I have said. So this is just a summary of what we have said on the periodic table. Now we have, how do we name these elements? Using what? The symbols now. Because we have said in the periodic table, the names are, the elements appear in names and symbols. So when we name them, we have to follow some instructions or rules. Here is rule 1. When you name an element, you either use one letter, which will be the first one, and when you use it, it must be written as a capital letter. E.g., or for example, we have hydrogen, symbolized H, which is a capital letter. Oxygen, likewise, symbolized O, a capital letter. And carbon, we use what? C, which is the first letter in the name of the element. Second option or instruction and rule, we can name them using 2 letters. The 2 letters can be the first 2 or the first letter and the third letter. Look at the name of this element. It is magnesium. What have we used to name it? It is the first letter M followed by the third letter Mg. So for magnesium. Likewise, the second one, we have capital letter A. For argon, we have capital letter, then followed by the second letter on the name of the element. Likewise, we can see on neon and many more. So when we name them, the last one should be, we sometimes see the names which we don't have to, or they are not carrying the same letters as we expect. Like for instance, we have sodium in the periodic table, but it is not SO or SD. Instead, it is Na. Why? It is following the name which is in Latin, which is called natrium. Natrium. And potassium also is symbolized K because it's coming from the name K. Again, they are following the rules 1 and 2. So this is what is very important on the periodic table. And the last part that we have on the periodic table, we have to use this to construct some equation. But we have said we need to also study group 1 and group elements. So I'll just summarize that one briefly by saying group 1 elements, we say they are soft metals, hence they conduct electricity. And they are highly reactive, by being highly reactive such that they are able to react with water or even air. So I hope you have grasped every concept that we're learning about today. I will just give you these questions for you to do at home as part of summary of this lesson for today. There are 5 of them. Please answer them so that you check if you have understood everything. Yes, for this, name one of the substances that is named the use of argon. I will cancel it because I haven't taught you today because of time, but I hope because you have books you will check this one from your books. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson with me today and we have been able to get exactly what you were listening for, not just sitting there. Thank you so much, my dear listener at home.
Yes, the dear learner. Nombumelelo, thank you very much for such an interesting science lesson, and I hope that the Form 3s got a little bit of something from that lesson.
I think so.
Yes, and we hope to see you again for another very interesting science lesson.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Viewers, Lerato will be right back with the Siswati Form 3 class just after this.
Thank you.
Wash your hands. Scrub them while you sing the song. Wash. Rub your hands and fingers and the places in between. Using soap and water makes your hands so clean. Wash your hands. Reach up, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now dry.
Wash your hands for 20 seconds, just like Elmo.
Labanengi labangenwa ligciwane lecorona bavame kuba netimpawu letingasito letimatima njengebuhlungu bemphimbo, kuphathwa inhloko, kushisa nekubandza, kukhwehlela lokomile, kuphefumula kalukhuni kanye nekudzinwa. Kepha kulabanye kuba matima njengoba leli gciwane lihlasela emaphaphu. Ngesikhathi umtimba ulwa nalo leli gciwane wakheka emanti lagcwala emaphashini. Emaphaphu-ke angagcwala emanti akuphefumuleki. Lokhu-ke kubanga tingcinamba letinengi. Kuthi kweshisa kulabanye kuyasita ekunciphiseni kwanza kwesifo i-COVID-19. Hlala ekhaya ungahambi. Eswatini sibambisene kulwa nekwanza kweligciwane lecorona.
COVID-19 corona. COVID-19 corona. COVID-19 corona. COVID-19 corona. COVID-19 corona. COVID-19 corona. Let's dance together. Join hands. Fight against corona. Let's dance together. Join hands. Fight against corona. COVID-19 corona. COVID-19 corona.
My son, let's fight COVID-19 by making a meter away from each other.
COVID-19 corona.
Wash your hands with soap and running water frequently to prevent COVID-19.
Avoid touching eyes, nose, mouth, shaking hands to prevent COVID-19.
Are you coughing? Are you sneezing? Or having headache? Make sure that you quickly go to the hospital. COVID-19 Corona. COVID-19 Corona.
Kumelula ukuthi ligciwane lecorona lisuke kulomunye lingene kulomunye uma sitawusonzelana. Singasita sinciphise kwanza kwalo ngekuthi sikhweshelane. Lokhu kusho ukuthi singachawulani, singathinzani njengokuhagana nje. Tikhweshise ngesigaba lesiyimitha kusuka kulabanye. Kumcoka kakhulu kuhlala uhlobile nekuthi hlobisa uma uke waphumela kubantu. Ngekubambisana sitakumisa kwanza kwaleli gciwane sibe ngulabaphilile. Eswatini sibambisene kulwa nekwanza kweligciwane lecorona.
Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash your hands. Scrub them while you sing the song. Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash. Rub your hands and fingers and the places in between. Using soap and water makes your hands so clean. Wash your hands. Reach up, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now dry.
Wash your hands for 20 seconds, just like Elmo.
Labanengi labangenwa ligciwane lecorona bavame kuba netimpawu letingasito letimatima njengebuhlungu bemphimbo, kuphathwa inhloko, kushisa nekubanza, kukhwehlela lokomile, kuphefumula kalukhuni kanye nekudzinwa. Kepha kulabanye kuba matima njengoba leli gciwane lihlasela emaphaphu. Ngesikhathi umtimba ulwa nalo leli gciwane wakheka emanti lagcola emaphashini. Emaphaphu-ke angagcola emanti akuphefumuleki. Lokhu-ke kubanga tingcinamba letinengi. Kuthi khweshisa kulabanye kuyasita ekunciphiseni kwanza kwesifo i-COVID-19. Hlala ekhaya ungahambi. Eswatini sibambisene kulwa nekwanza kweligciwane lecorona.
Angikwemungele mbukeli elihlelweni lwethu lwekufundza usekhaya i-home study lubanjiswano emkhathini kwelitiko letemfundvo nemsakato wetitfombe i-Eswatini TV. Ligama lami ngengilirato wakamabilisa kanti-ke sowuvele ukhona thishela wesiswati etindlini tetfu tekusakata thishela Calisile Maphanga lotabe afundzisa sona Siswati selibanga lemfica. Asikuvusele thishela sikwemukele elihlelweni lwethu lwemfundo.
Yebo sisilerato, ngiyabonga kakhulu kungemukela.
Engabe uphilile yini namuhla?
Ngiphile kakhulu sisi.
Okay.
Siyajabula nebafundi batasithokotela sifunda sethu.
Yebo mama. Engabe umfundi ubheke ukuthi abe afundzeni ekupheleni kwalesifundo.
Ekupheleni kwalesifundo sisilerato ngicathe ukuthi umfundi abeseka thanza nje kufunza uyabona aphinze futhi acije likhono lakhe lekuthi akhone kufunza ahlatiye umbhalo ngemcondo lojulile hayi lapho ngidabe sengiyajabula.
Okay make ngabe sihloko sanamuhla sithini?
Sihloko sanamuhla sikhuluma ngemidlalo wethu emaphupho emadvala inkundla yecala sitawususa nje esigabeni secala sofike esigabeni sesihlanu.
Oh siyabonga make ungachubeka nesifundo sakho.
Okay siyabonga. Ngiyabonga sisilerato. Siyakwemukela mfunzi ekhaya. Ligama lami ngicalisile wakamaphanga. Ngicela ke ukuthi mfunzi usasonzela amabona kudze wakho uphathena kule kulandzelako kwekubhalela, kwekubhala kanjalo futhi nencwadi yakho yemaphupho emadvala yemidlalo bese ke mfunzi sesiyachubeka ke. Singakachubeki ke mfunzi wami ngicela sibuke nathi ihlokwana lesilandzelako. Kule nkundla yekucala sitawubuketa sifinyeto, sibukete singeniso. Ngaphansi kwesingeniso sethu ke mfunzi wami sinaso sibeka ndzaba sibe naso gcamile sibe namdvonseni siphindze futhi sibukete umshikashika lokhona la kulomdlalo wethu bese sesibuka netingcikishana. Sachubeka ke mfunzi wami asesibuke nje bumcoka balesifundo ke mfunzi wami ukuthi simcoka ngani Lesifundvo setfu ke mfundzi wami simcoka ngoba sitakukhutsata ukuthi utsanze kufundza temibhalo ngaphandle nje kwekufucwa ngutishela. Siphindze futhi sikusite ukuthi ucije likhono lakho lekuhlatiya imibhalo. Uphindze futhi ukhone kucubungula imicondvo lejulile lefihlwe likhono lelisetshenziswe umbhali. Singakangeni ke futhi asesibuke nemigomo ukuthi yini lesigaba ekusukuzuza emfundzi nakuphela lesifundvo. Sigatsele mfundzi ukuthi nakuphela lesifundvo ukhone kuniketa sifinyeto sale nkundla yekucala, ukhone kuniketa sibekandzaba senkundla yekucala, ukhone kuchaza mdvonseni losetshenziswe kule nkundla, uchaze umshikashika lokhona, uphindze futhi uchaze netingcikishana. Ngiyakholwa mfundzi ukuthi usenami. Asasibiyekete ke mfundzi wami sifundvo lesengcile. Esifundweni lesendlulile ke mfundzi wami sabuka bumcoka bekuhlatiya sithombe lesitholakala ebusweni bencwadzi kude sibone inhloso yembhali. Saphinza ke mfundzi wami sahlatiya nesihloko sencwadzi emaphupho emadvala. Sibuka budlelwane lobukhona emkhatsini waletintfo letimbili. Waphinze wacelwa ke futhi mfundzi wami ukuthi ukhone kufundza inkundla yonke yekucala lengethemba ukuthi ufundzile. Kule nkundla ke yekucala bese kunikete nemibuto ke mfundzi letakusita ukuthi ukhone ukwati kabandi noma usicondzisise kahle le nkundla yethu. So ke lemibuto ke mfundzi wami ngilokuthi wendeka kuphi lo mdlalo. Wendeka ngasiphi isikhathi sekuphila? Bobani badlali labetfuliwe kule nkundla nekuthi labadlali laba badlala yipi inzima bamcoka ngani vele uthini futhi nemlayeto kule nkundla. Siyachubeka ke mfundzi singakachubeki kathe singakacubunguli lokucukethwe kule nkundla yekucala asesithole sifinyeto salomdlalo ukuthi ukhuluma ngani lo mdlalo wethu kude sitowuhamba kanye kanye sisawuhlatiya lo mdlalo wethu. Umdlalo wethu wendeka kumali yaduma ekhaya kaGcinzi. Babe Gcinzi uthethela Gwebu unebantfana lababili bosimo namajaha labangakaphiwa ngekufana esikolweni. Phindze futhi labantfana siyababona bavela lapha ekucaleni kwalomdlalo bacabene bayahwilitisana. Majaha ute ushaya ubita simo ngesitvom uthi taganza tayila simo ke ngekuthukuthela uyamshaya ute uphuma ingadi. Siyabona ke ukuthi lesimo besi makwabo la Gwebu ushayele Gcinzi lebekangekho ayohlola dzadzewawo uthi teke Gcinzi nakefika wayisukela lenzaba wakhulunyiswa simo washaywa futhi wajeziswa. Kwathi ngalelinye ilanga ke mfundzi badadisha litvuma lituluka madima kwacima bogezi wasuka majaha wayokokhela kukhanya kubatali babo wathasa hamba wagileka wawa kwawa ematafula abo ekudadisha wabhicana tincwadzi kwabasibicongo. Wasukuma ke simo wayokokhela kukhanya egumbini lebatali bakhe nakabuya wathi akwehlukaniswe lamatafula kude kungaphindze kulokubhicana lokwendekile. Wathi lakhe litafula litawuba ngesencele kanti labhuti wakhe litawuba ngesekudla. Siyabona ke ukuthi kwase sekufika nangu makhelwane longilahekeza utawubonga Sipho lasiphiwe ngusimo. Akafika lahekeza njengoba siva ukuthi ngilahekeza waheketa tindzaba la kangakabutwa tona letfake ekhatsi kungeva kwebangani basimo kwenta tifundvo letiphambene neSiswati labatfuna bayapheka labasikati bayalima. Wase ubuta la Gwebu ukuthi lo msinjwana lekake wawuva bewuwani la Gwebu ke kayinaka ngaleyo ndzaba lokungamphathanga kahle ke lahekeza kwaba kwehlukana kwabo. Sinjalo ke mfundzi sifinyeto setfu lesinaso. Singena ke esingenisweni mfundzi wami. Tonke ke temibhalo tibhekeke ukuthi tibe nesingeniso lesishaya khona. Singeniso futhi lesakha umdlandla wekuchubeka nekufundza. So ke enzabeni lenze umbhali usebenzisa sahluko sonke etfula indzaba yakhe. Kanjalo futhi nemidlalo wethu utawusebenzisa yonke lenkundla kude akhone kwetfula umbhalo wakhe. Siyabona ke la kulamaphupho emadvala kusi lenkundla yekucala sigaba sekucala esigabeni sesihlanu kusho ukuthi singeniso. Sitfolani ke esingeniso ke mfundzi wami. Esingenisweni sethula khona sokugcamile nenkinga labhekene nayo sibeka ndzaba netigigaba letakhamdvonseni. Siyachubeka ke mfundisi sibuketa kabandi sibe kanzaba njengoba sesikhulumile ukuthi singeniso siveta sibe kanzaba. Sibe kanzaba ke mfundisi wami. Kulapho kwenteka khona lo mdlalo. Kungasho indzawo kusho sikhathi sekwenteka kwenzaba phindze futhi kusho nesimo senhlalo lesihambelana nendzawo lapho kwenteka khona indzaba. Kuleli phimbo lemteki ke mfundisi ekhasini lekucala ngilapho sibona khona lesicashuna asesisifunze mfundisi wami. Kukumali yaduma kacinzi yindlu lenkulu lenemagumbi ngemagumbi. Lo mdlalo ke sesiyabona ke mfundisi wami ukuthi wenteka kuphi kumali yaduma. Yindzawo lena leseceleni kwelidolobha la kaManzini kulabo labangayadi lendzawo. Sitawuphindze sibone ke nokuthi kumcoka ngani lokuthi lendzawo ibe seceleni kwelidolobha. Phindze futhi uyasicondzisa umbhali ukuthi yenteka ekhaya kacinzi. Uma kungisekhaya ke mfundisi kunababe, kunamake, kunebanvana. Siyachubeka ke mfundisi nesibe kanzaba. Sishito ukuthi sibe kanzaba singakhomba indzawo isikhathi nesimo senhlalo. Solo sichubeka naso nayo ke indzawo ke mfundisi wami. Kukumali yaduma. Leli gama la lendzawo nje mfundisi lisitshela ini? Siyabona ukuthi leli gama mali yaduma likhomba umcondvo lotsite ukuthi bantu balendzawo balambela impumelelo bafuna ukuvuma ngemali njengoba kuyindzawo lesedvude phela nelidolobha. Vele kunemikhutsana lesibheke ukuthi bayikope edolobheni lefaka ikhathi imfundvo bayihambise embili imfundvo. Kungako ke babegcinzi umnikati walelikhaya noma umnumzana walelikhaya anemaphupho lamahle ngemfundvo yebantfu bakhe. Ufuna dokotela nemmeli kulelikhaya lakhe. Ngaleyo misebenzi leyo uyakholelwa ukuthi batawuvuma ngemali. Njengoba sishito ke mfundisi ke kwakuthi sikiso sibe kanzaba lesikhomba indzawo. Siphenze futhi umbhali lapha emdlalweni wakhe uyasicondzisa ukuthi yenteka kumali yaduma nje lenzaba kepha yenteka emtini ekhaya kacinzi kunendlu lenkulu lengemagumbi ngemagumbi. Kusivetela ini ke lo? Kusivetela simo semnotfo salomuti kwakuthi bakhe kahle indlu lenkulu lenemakamelo. Ngumuti ke futhi lona wenvodza lenemfati munye njengoba sathi ukuthi evena kangwane kunetinhlotshana tetinhlobo temuti. Sasiyabuka ke mfundisi wami ukuthi njengoba kukusekhaya kunemnumzane asesibuke bumcoka bemnumzane ekhaya. Siyachubeka ke mfundisi wami sibuka bumcoka bemnumzane ekhaya. Nguye umnumzane locondzisa abantwana ekhaya. Kungako lagwebu atshela Simo kuthi sengimtshelile babe wakho utakulaya emva kwekwedzilela kwakhe la kwendile. Ubheke ukuthi amjezise ngoba akakagcini imithetho yelikhaya. Uyadibuta ke mfundisi ngiphi ke lemthetho? Lemthetho ivetiwe ekhasini leli11 nayi ke lemithetho. Umsindvo awufuneki kulelikhaya la kacinzi. Akuliwa nawuphocekile ubikela labadzala. Futhi kunesikhathi sekubuya awumani nje ubuye noma nini. Siyadibuta ke mfundisi ukuthi yini bumcoka bemthetho ekhaya. Wakhasisekelo mfundisi wami lesicinile sekukhulisa abantwana. Bathi nje ukuthi lokhu kuyenteka lokhu akwendiwe. Phinza futhi kucondzisa abantwana kubabuyise endleleni. Sitawuchubeka sibone nje mfundisi ukuthi abantwana babuya njani endleleni. Sishito ke mfundisi wami sathi sibe kanzaba siphinze futhi sikhombe sikhathi. Njengoba ke sibona ke mfundisi wami kwakuthi sikhomba sikhathi asesibuke ukuthi ngisiphi ke lesikhathi. Sikhathi ke mfundisi singasho ekseni, emini, enthambama, ehlobo, ebusika, sikhathi lesiphila kiso namuhla noma sikhathi sakadzeni. Asesibuke ke kulomdlalo ke wethu ke mfundisi kule nkhundla yethu yekucala. Kulomdlalo ke livi lemteki lisitshela ukuthi kunikacinzi kunendlu yinye lengemagumbi ngemagumbi. Sike sakusho lokho mfundisi kusinikani ke lokho? Kusinika umcondvo ukuthi nguleti ikhathi lesiphila kito namuhla hayi kadzeni njengoba kadzeni besakha ngetindlu lesakha tindlu bokuca sithandaze noma telitsaka. Lokusitshela ukuthi shokuthi intuthuko seyifikile njengoba futhi umuntu akagcinzi ukuphi useceleni kwelidolobha. Siphenzeke futhi siyachubeka nesikhathi njengoba sishilo. Lokunye lokuphinze kukhomba isikhathi ngilo sikubona lapha enkhulumeni yalahekeza. la hekeza njengoba afikile watoheketa tindzaba uthi lo mathoko nguye kuphela umfana ngathemba siyaconza lapho umfana lo setifundweni tani tekupheka nekutfunga sine sijwayele kuthini laba sikati laba phekako nalabathungako naloko kuzivetela kuthini lo mdlalo wendeka esikhatsini salamuhla lapho tifundwa tisayi ngebulili kodwa sekuya ngani ngelikhono laloyo mfundzi lokunye lokhomba ukuthi lo mdlalo wendeka esikhatsini salamuhla nangu umkhutshana lovetiwe lo wendeka etinsukwini talamuhla ngimuphi ke lo mkhutshana esigabeni siyeva ukuthi lo Duma basusukelela uhadla lwesalukati uthi singani sakhe siyakubona ke ukuthi lokhu kwenteka esikhatsini tetfu lamuhla bantwana basesabi kuthandzana nebantu labadzala inkhani nje nakunemali bathi nje umnyaka yindilinga nje kuphela siyachubeka ke mfundzi ke sesibuka sibe kanzaba sethu sithe sathi singakhomba indzawo singakhomba isikhathi singakhomba simo senhlalo nasi lesimo senhlalo esikhuluma ngaso so kasesibone ke mfundzi ukuthi sisho siphi simo kulomdlalo ngeliphimbo lemteki sitshelwa ngasimo kuthiwa simo lo ungena ngesikhahlo yini kungena ngesikhahlo kungena ngesikhahlo ungena ngeludlame ukhombise kulwa ukhombise kuthukuthela lokho kusitshelani ke mfundzi kuyasitshela ukuthi kude libuthula kulelikhaya lakaCinzi indlela labakhulumisana ngayo ikhomba kungevani abahloniphani kunabugudlugudlu lobunyakatisa lenhlalo yakulelikhaya siyatibuta ke mfundzi kuthi ngabe lo mfana wendiwa yini kuba nelidlame lolungaka imibuto lefana nalena ke mfundzi ngiyo kanye lesitfonsako sitawungena ke mfundzi ke kubuka lokho ukuthi yini nakulethiwa ngumdvonseni buka nasi sithombe mfundzi wami kunemuntu la udonsa nangu lo lapha ngephansi umdonsela ukuthi akete kuphi kuye yini lengamkhanga kulomuntu lokuthi ete kuye siyadibuta siyabona ke mfundzi ukuthi kanjalo ke nakutemibhalo umbhali kufanele akubamba ngakuyekeli kude utochubeka nenzaba yakhe ube ulokuyifunza lokho ke sikubita ngani ngekuthi ngumdvonseni kusitshela kuthini ke lokho mfundzi kusitshela ukuthi shakuthi mdvonseni buciko lobusetshenziswa ngumbhali kukuheha wena mfundzi kuze utokhona kuchubeka ufunze umbhalo wakhe nakabhala kunetinto latifihlako kude lona lofundzako afune ukuchubeka achubeke afunza umbhalo wakhe so ke lemibuto ke mfundzi ngiyo lele yakha umdlandla yekuchubeka ufune kufunza lo mbhalo usafunza ke leyo mibuto leyo iyaphenduleka mfundzi wami asasibuke ke tibonelo tamdvonseni lesinado la kulomdlalo wethu enkhundleni yecala sigaba secala siyofika esigabeni sesihlanu njengoba sike sabuka sibe kanzaba ke mfundzi sishito ukuthi lendzawo yendeka kuphi kumali yaduma umbuto uthi ke mfundzi leni umbhala khethe kusebenzisa lendzawo lekuthiwa ngumali yaduma siyadibuta futhi ukuthi ngabe abantu bakulendzawo ingabe babantu labacabanga kanjani nje simo longene ngesikhahlo simbonile utawuphethe laphi yini lele mina abe nelidlame tifiso teyise tona ngoba ufuna ummeli nadokotela ekhaya kakhe ngabe vele titawufezeka yini lena ke mbhali imibuto levukako uma sifunza inkundla yecala le mibuto lenjengalena ke mfundzi ngiyo lesakhela inkhaphu yekuchubekela enkhundleni yesibili siyadibuta ukuthi ingabe itawuphendvuleka yini lena mibuto le mibuto ke mfundzi ngiyo kanye lele siyibita ngekuthi yini ngumdvonseni siyabona ke mfundzi ukuthi umbhali usinikete badlali kulabadlali sithitele enkhundla yonke ini isingeniso njengoba isingeniso kufanele isetfulele sogcamile nenkinga noma umshikashika labhekene nawo siyadibuta ke mfundzi ukuthi ingabe sogcamile vele ngumdlali lonjani sogcamile ngulona ke mfundzi wami lothinzana nato tonke tigigaba letendeka endzabeni kulabadlali labetfuliwe nje mfundzi sina Simo sina Majaha sina Cinzi sinala Gwebu, sinala Hegeza. Wena ke mfundzi bowungathi ngibani sogcamile kulaba. Ngumuphi lesingathi uyathintheka kuto tonke letigigaba letendeka kule ngudla? Ngumuphi futhi lobonakala anenkinga noma umshikashika kunabo bonke laba labanye badlali? Ngiyethemba mfundzi utawuvumelana nami ukuthi loyo ngibani ngusimo. Kungena kwakhe ngesikhahlo. Kusikhona lokusitshela kona. Uyadibuta mfundzi kuthi ingabe vele kusitshelani. Asesibuke ukuthi kusitshelani lo. Sima kukhona lokumdlako. Utfukuthele akasakhona ukuthi bamba. Ngabe yini lo lidlamele lingaka? Ababhokobokelani nemnaka bomajaha kanti njengematuba batelwe bobabili nje esiswini senini sigathe ukuthi ngabe bathandzana kuhle kwemathe nelulwini. Lokunye ke lagweba ukhanza abantu abakhe bacabene. Akatimiseli nakuva lihlangothi kwakuthi kwentekeni kulaba lababili. Uvela ukhwele uyatehlela kusimo. Uthethisa yena. Cinzi nakafika ekhaya uthethisa simo. Akatimiseli kuva lihlangothi lwasimo. La Hegeza nakafika ekhaya kaCinzi ugceka simo. Uthi akabingelelani. Lide simo amphese sipho. Nalidvuma litulu, ngubani lothintheka kakhulu? Nguye simo. Konakala umdvebo wakhe, kanzi lo mdvebo wakhe ngona athi utiva angishambeni kuwo. Bobane ke labadlali ke mfundzi bavetwe bangamsekeli simo. Lokho kwenta impilo yasimo ibe njani? Ibe munyu. Ngiko ke lokho lokusenda sithi sogcamile kulomdlalo ngisimo ngoba kwenta kwabo bonke labanye badlali kuyabonakala ukuthi bamelene nasimo. Sogcamile ke uvama kusitwa ngilabanye ke badlali kude akhone kwetfula umlayeto wembali. Siyabona ke ukuthi njengoba sethulelwe esingenisweni salomdlalo ukuthi kusekhaya kaCinzi kunababe welikhaya lekungibabe wasimo namajaha lokungibabe Cinzi kube namake lagwebu kube nebantu ababo simo sakhe Cinzi le umbhali uyamteketisa amdlalise athi ngusimo. So ngilo ke mfundzi lesitalisebenzisa ligama lasimo kakhulu bese kuba namajaha longithunjana phela kulomndeni wakaCinzi. Base kuthulwa la Hegeza lo Hegeta tindzaba njengoba simbona umbhala amakhile wenze kaNdlovu ke yena ungumakhelwane wakaCinzi. Labadlali laba ke mfundzi ngibo kanye labatawuveta tinkinga letibhekene nabani nasogcamile. Le nkinga yasogcamile siyibita ngekuthi yini? Ngumshikashika. Ngiyathemba ke mfundzi ukuthi usahamba nami. Uyadibuta futhi ukuthi ingabe yini wona lo mshikashika. Naku ke mfundzi siyabona lapha kunetithombe. Njengoba sibona le tithombe ke mfundzi asewutibuke. Uthatha isikhathi utibuke. Ngabe kwenzakalani kule tithombe? Uyasibona nje lesi naba abantu bayakhuluma. Uyabona nala uthi kunemkhathi la emkhathini lilayini lelikhomba ukuthi khona lokushaya emanti. Siyambona lo uphuma endlini. Sesibuka nangu wendani uyacabanga. Bonke laba ke mfundzi. Bonke basonzela kuphi? Konke kuphathelene namunye kulabantu labala. So siyabona ke mfundzi ukuthi konke lokwendakalako la kusho kona ukuthi kungumshikashika lobhekene nemuntu munye. Njengoba sesibonile ke esithombeni umuntu uma ashikashikana nemvo kusho ukuthi kusuke alwa nayo ngekutikhandla kude kuvumelana ngemibono. Sithombe sivetele abantu labangavumelani nemuntu lolwa ngemicabango ngalokumehlele. Singaphetha sini ke mbhali ke mfundzi singaphetha ngekuthi umshikashika yimbi umbhali labanayo nalabanye badlali noma labanayo yedwa nje ngemicabango yakhe. Lokhu kusitshelani ke mfundzi? Kusitshela ukuthi umshikashika wehlukene kabili. Kunemshikashika wangekhathi, kunemshikashika wangephandle. Asesibuke ke mfundzi ukuthi yini umshikashika wangekhathi? Yimbi yemdlali labanayo engcondveni yakhe. Uyacabanga kunetimo letimhlungu lekaphila kito letingabangwa abantu kanye nendalo. Nasesibuka kumshikashika wangaphandle ke mfundzi yimpi lesebaleni lebonakalako lefaka ekhathi kushayisana nekungavumelani kwebadlali. Sitawubuka ke mfundzi ngabandi letinhlobo temshikashika lesesitivetile. Umshikashika wangekhatsi. Buka nasi isithombe mfundzi sencwadzi yetfu emaphupho emadvala. Nali lijaha siyalibona. Leli jaha leli lihleleti. Liyacabanga. Likhashane ngemicabango leli jaha leli. Njengoba silibona. Licabangani? Siyabona ukuthi khona impilo kanayo ngekhathi kwakhe. Ukhashane ngemicabango uyalwa kunemshikashika wangekhathi lokuhambelana nani nekuhlukubeteka emoyeni nasengcondveni. Kulomdlalo siyabona ukuthi kunyenti lokungamhlukubeta simo kufaka ekhathi ini uyalimala emoyeni. Akasekeleki emndenini wakubo. So ke kuhlukubeteka ke kwasimo kuphinze kubangwe ukuthi abamemukeli ekhaya kuthi akakaphiwa kuletinye tifundvo. Badali bakhe abanenzaba ukuthi uphiwe kutekubata, kutekudveba nekulima bagase ukuthi abe nengcondvo lekhaliphile aphase kute science nabo maths njengoba umnakabo majaha enda. Abakujabuleli naloko lakakubatile kungako uthatha lesipho sakhe uyosipha bakandlovu simo ngoba uyati ukuthi khona batakujabulela. Majaha ubita simo ngesithomo uthi taganza tayila enhloko yakhe. Sicile sibhlungu lesi. Ude emandla ekusinjinja uyalimala ngoba kude la ngakwenda ngaso. Kumlimata ke kwakhe wenda atseleleke utselelwa ngumntwana lomncane. So ungacabanga ngathi kubhlungu kangakanani utselelwa ngumntwana lomncane. Sibuke umshikashikayo wangaphandle ke mfundzi kenyalo. Nasi isithombe uyasibona lesithombe. Sinebantu lababili bayathethisana bayalwa uyababona ukuthi bajake kubambana ngetandla. So njengoba ke labantu laba bathethisana kusho kona ukuthi ababoni ngasolinye. So kukhulu ke lokule bakubangako. Kunekuhlukubetana lokwendeka lako lesikubona ngemehlo. Lokho ke sithi yini ngumshikashika wangaphandle. Lokungafaka ekhathi kuhlukubeteka enyameni. Lokuhambelana nekuvisa umuntu ubhlungu ngekumthethisa, kumshaya noma kumdvuba. Asasibuke ke tibonelo temshikashika wangephandle leti khona la kulomdlalo wethu enkhundleni yekucala sigaba sekucala kuye esigabeni sesihlanu. Sinikwa simo njengasogcamile. Simo uneminyaka lengama22 kepha siyambona uthethiswa ushaywa nguyise. Lokumvisa bhlungu kakhulu emtimbeni wakhe nasemoyeni. Kuyamhlukubeta lo. Ngetulu kwaloko phela simo sokungetulu kweminyaka le18 siyabona ukuthi ngemthetho sisekelo welive semdzala. So siyakubona ke lokho ukuthi lamuhla kusebenta kukhulumisana. Lesithi pheceleti yi positive discipline noma umdzala noma umncane. Sisilerato ngabe sisekanye kanye yini?
Yebo make kepha nje soselele ngimizuzu lemincane 5 minutes ukuthi ucedisele isifundo sakho bese sesiyaphela isikhathi.
Oh okay singachubeka.
Okay.
Siyachubeka ke mfundzi sesibukile tibonelo letinye ke tibonelo temshikashika wangaphandle ngileti lesishoko ukuthi majaha ungumnakabo lomncane simo ngekukhula sibheke ukuthi ngabe uyamfundzisa kepha soloku abakhoni kuhlangana bathandzane. Siphindze futhi sibona simo uphinzilitana nenina bayathathisana kude kuhlonipha. Solo ngumshikashika loyo. Siyabona mos. So ke siyabona ke mfundzi ukuthi uma ke sifunza kufanele ukuthi kube khona lesikufundzako lokuthi ingcikithi. Khona lo lokuthiwa idingcikithi bese kuba khona lekuthiwa idingcikishana ngemfundzi. Kubhekekile ke ukuthi kuyo yonke imibhalo yethu kube khona lesikufundzako. Yini ke ingcikithi mfundzi? Ngilomgogodla wendzaba losisusa noma ke lesingathi siwuthola ngekubuthisa imilayeto tifundvo lesitedluliswa ngiloyo mbhalo. So ke mfundzi siyatibuta ke ukuthi fanele siyibhale kanjani ingcikishana. Asesibuke ke mfundzi ukuthi yini lesigatsile. Ingcikishana ke mfundzi singayibhala ngeke ukuthi sisebenzise nadi takhi desibanjalo. Leli ingcikishana yethu ufuna ibe njengesihloko. Nadi ke letakhi sinake ku yi bu nangu. Ingabinze futhi ke mfundzi wami ibe ngumshwana nje ngemagama langengciki lasihlanu noma ibe ligama linye nje. Kubhekekile ke mfundisi ukuthi uyisekele ngakho konke lokwendekako kuphi endzabeni. Siyachubeka ke mfundisi sibuketa ke tona ke tingcikishana tenkundla yekucala. Ingcikishana yekucala buhlungu bekungaphiwa engcondweni. Sishito ke mfundisi ukuthi kunetakhi lesibheke ukuthi utisebenzise sitawusebenzisa letinye tato. Kuna nasakhi sesibanjalo lokungibu buhlungu. Siphindze futhi sathi ibe ngumshwana ingengci lasihlanu emagama. Sinalo lecala lesibili lesithathu. Kuyasho ke mfundisi ukuthi ugcinekile lo mthetho. Simo siyambona uyahlekwa uyathelelwa wemuke kaSifundi akasatethembi. Kuyingcikithi lokho kulombhali. Siphindze futhi sibona kubandlululeka kwebantwana ekhaya. Siyabona ukuthi labatali basimo abakhoni kumemukela ngalokulinganako. Labantwana khona lo phasa kahle khona lekangaphasi kahle kuletinye tifundvo. Kungako sesiyabona ukuthi akemukeleki kahle. So ngatifundzela ke mfundzi wami letinye tingcikishana lesingatitfola njengebungoti bekutikhethela imisebenti. Kube kukhethela bantwana imisebenzi lokuyini lokungemaphutha lekendiwa batali. Phindza ke futhi mfundzi wami kunanati tintfo lesifise ukuthi utibuke ngekujula njengoba sishito sathi sicija likhono lekubuka tintfo ngekujula kudvuma kwelitulu. Usitshela ukuthi lolu luphawu lwemsindvo lokhona ekhaya kagcinzi. Akusiwo kumsindvo nje kephana kungevani. Kukhanya lokuphuma egumbini kagcinzi sikubona kungiko lokunemandla ekucatulula tinkinga tebantfwana. Kukhomba ini lokho? Kukhomba ukuthi batali ngibo lesibabona bakhona kucatulula tinkinga tebantfwana. Siphinza futhi sibona kuhlukana kwematafula emva kokucima kwagesi. Simo wekucala ekhaya kanti majaha mncane lokho kusitshela kuthini simo sawutemuke sigaba sakhe sebutubulo ngoba siyathi ukuthi litubulo ngilona liphuma nesibusiso. Yena watibeka ngesencele wabeka umnakabo ngesekudla. Kusho kuthini lokho? Kusho ukuthi vele yena sowutehlisile ngoba siyabona ukuthi akasiyo lokathandwa kahle ekhaya. Majaha yena uphethwe ngesandla sekudla futhi nguye lothandwako ekhaya. Sengiphatha ke mfundzi wami ngiyathemba ukuthi sithokotele sifundo sethu lesikubonile ke mfundzi sibonile ukuthi sonke lesahluko sonke yonke lesigaba lenkundla isingeniso esingenisweni sibonile ukuthi sibona sibeka ndzaba sibone segcamile sibone umshikashika phindze futhi sabona ke mfundzi ukuthi kunemshikashika wangaphandle kube nemshikashika wangekhathi. Solo siyabona ke futhi ke mfundzi ukuthi siphindze sabuka ini tingcikishana. Ngiyathemba ke mfundzi ngokuthi ekhaya solo ukanye nami. Nathi ke nemsebenzi lesigathe ukuthi ke mfundzi uwende esikhathini lesitako. Ngiyathemba ungakhona ukuthi ifundzela ngekuphangisa nje ngoba vele nangisisilegato so yangicosha kulendzawo. Ngiyabonga sisi.
Yebo manje sibonge kakhulu ukuba nawe etindlini tekusakata futhi siyabonga mbukeli ukuthi ubukele sifumvu sethu sesiswati lo landzelako ngumlingano wami nokwazi Dlamini lo tawube athatha form 5 kulama subjects awo lalandzelako.
Kids, wash your hands so you can come in and have lunch.
Okay, Mom. Tabo, apply some soap. You shouldn't just use water only.
But my hands aren't dirty, Nolwazi.
Just because your hands don't look dirty doesn't mean they're clean. We need to wash our hands regularly with soap and running water for at least 20 seconds, just like teacher taught us, so that all virus-causing germs and bacteria are washed away.
Tabo, listen to your sister, baby. It's important to always wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Like right now before we eat, after using the toilet, after touching animals, or after changing a nappy. We must also clean our surfaces and toilet seats with disinfectant.
Guys, it's time to wash our hands, wash our hands, wash our hands. Dirty germs don't stain and germs
Guys, I'm home.
Welcome back, honey.
This is your 1 p.m. news update brought to you by Victor Silombo. In the news today, we'll speak a little bit more about COVID-19, a disease that's infectious and causing problems all over the world. COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by the coronavirus. The disease can spread from person to person through small droplets from the nose or mouth, which are spread when a person with COVID-19 coughs or exhales. These droplets land on objects and surfaces around the person, and other people then catch COVID-19 by touching these objects and surfaces, then touching their eyes, nose, or mouth. Here's a few simple precautions that you can follow to reduce your chances of being infected or spreading COVID-19. Regularly and thoroughly clean your hands with an alcohol-based hand rub or wash them with soap and water. Cover your mouth and nose with your flexed elbow or use a tissue when you cough or sneeze. Then dispose of that used tissue immediately in a dustbin. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Maintain a social distance of at least 1 meter between yourself and everyone else. Drink copious amounts of water to make sure your body is hydrated. And remember, if you develop a fever, a cough, or have difficulty breathing, call 977. Stay safe, stay home.
Kids, I hope you are listening carefully. It's very important that we take these precautions very seriously, so we all avoid catching or spreading COVID-19. So, we must stay home for our safety. Okay?
Yes, Dad.
A very warm welcome back to our viewers and a very good afternoon to those who have just joined us. I am Noah Zidlamini. You are still tuned in to Eswatini TV and this is Home Study. Right now it's the Form 5's turn and we are doing physics with Nozipho Nxumalo. Nozipho, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm well, my dear. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So what is today's lesson about? And also what are you expecting your learner to have learned by the end of this lesson?
Okay, viewers at home, no guys, we are talking about the DC motor today.
Okay.
A DC motor, if you've ever seen a loudspeaker, the corner of a loudspeaker, it moves.
All right.
So if you've ever had a privilege of opening the speaker as well, you see that they are magnets.
All right.
So we're going to be talking about the concept of a current and a magnetic field and the motion of the wire. That is what we call the motor effect.
Okay.
So we're going to discuss the motor in relation to where it is used in drills, in fans, and so on and so on. But first, before we go there, we want to just round up on what we discussed the other time about electricity being produced in electromagnetic induction.
All right, thank you, Nozipho. From 5s, I hope that you are ready for your lesson. And just to also remind the viewer at home that we are live on Facebook and on YouTube. And if you have any questions, feel free to use our WhatsApp number that pops up from time to time. Please ask questions. Please ask questions. Do not call us. All right, Nozipho, I'll let you start your lesson.
Okay, my dear. Thank you so much. Welcome, viewers at home. We are here to do a little bit some physics. As I have said, we are talking about the DC motor today, but we are going to continue from where we left off when we were looking at electromagnetic induction. That is what we said when we say we are producing electricity from a moving coil. So we will look at that and discuss that. Remember, learners at home, we said we produce AC, that is alternating current, but most of our appliances at home, they use direct current. So how do we do it as engineers and physicists so that we can be able to use the AC that is generated by EEC in our homes where the appliances are mostly DC? But before we do that, we are going to just look at a recap of what electromagnetic induction is, as we discussed in the previous lesson. So our objectives today we are going to describe an experiment which shows that a changing magnetic field can induce a EMF, that is in a current. Now that is what we discussed previously. We're just going to go through it briefly, and then we are going to describe the function of a diode as a rectifier. we are going to state the current carrying wire in a magnetic field experiences a force, and explain why a current carrying coil in a magnetic field experiences the turning effect, which we call a motor. So that is why we're saying later on in our lesson we are going to be talking about the motor effect. What is electromagnetic induction? Electromagnetic induction, as we discussed, is the production of current or voltage by a changing magnetic field. So we discussed two experiments. One was when we were moving the wire in a U-shaped magnet. The second one was moving a bar magnet in and out of a solenoid. So we're going to watch a video briefly that is going to demonstrate the second experiment to show what happens when a bar magnet is moved in and out of a solenoid. We're watching a video now. Now, as we can see, learners, we are moving the magnet inside the solenoid. Our solenoid that we are using today has only 360 turns. Now, let us look at the galvanometer. We can see the galvanometer neatly deflecting. With different movements, it is deflecting in opposite directions. Now, we have increased the number of turns. Let us look what happens in the galvanometer. You see, if you are at home, the deflection now is further from the zero. So which means the current that is induced there has increased. How do we see that? We see by the deflection moving further from the zero. Now, we said here when we're discussing how then can we tell or determine the direction of the induced current in the solenoid. We looked at Lenz's law. So we're going to discuss Lenz's law briefly and then move on to when we are using or determining the direction of the induced current when we are moving the wire in between the U-shaped magnet. What is Lenz's law? Lenz's law states that the induced current always flows in a direction such that it opposes the change producing it. So we are saying we are pushing in a north pole. We know that current will be induced in the solenoid. So Lenz's law says that now the current induces a pole, which is the north pole, that will give us a force of attraction, a force of repulsion here, which opposes the pushing in. So same thing, which means we are saying opposing the change producing it. It means when we are pulling out the magnet here, which pole is going to be induced here, learners? It will be the south pole. Why? Because we are pulling out. The south will give us a force of attraction. So the pulling out opposes the change producing it. It's just a recap, learners, for the benefit of those who may not have been with us the last time, so that we understand clearly what happens with the motor. So in this diagram, it just gives us what we were looking at in the video. Here the galvanometer is deflecting in one direction when we are pushing in the magnet, and the galvanometer is deflecting in the opposite direction when we are pulling out the magnet. That still explains Lenz's law. Here's a question, viewers at home, that is going to help us to distinguish between a question that is asking us to state the observation and a question that is asking us to state what happens. That is, we want our learners to know what is the difference between stating what you see and then you explain what happens. Here's the question. It says a bar magnet is pushed into a coil as shown in figure 13.1. A sensitive zero-centered voltmeter V is connected across the coil. The first question is, describe what happens to the pointer on the voltmeter when 1. The magnet is pushed into the coil quickly. So this question is asking us to state our observation, not a conclusion. We can't say current is induced here. We do not see that. So here you state what you observe. what is done by the pointer in the voltmeter when the magnet is pushed into the coil. So we can only say what you observe here is that there will be what? A deflection. The pointer will deflect. Now the second question says the magnet is held stationary, meaning it is not moving. Remember, learner at home, we said a current is only induced when the wire cuts the magnetic field lines. So here it means there will be no motion or no movement or no deflection here. When there is no motion, we expect that there is no deflection as well. B says, describe what the changes that will be seen when a stronger magnet is used. Recall, learner, from our previous lesson, the factors that affect the size of the induced current. We had 3 factors, one of which is increasing the strength of the magnet. So which means here, learners at home, what do we expect now when we're increasing the strength of the magnet? It means we are expecting a further deflection. Remember, we can't say there is more current induced because we're expected to state what we observe, not the conclusion to the experiment. We continue with the next question. Describe the changes that will be seen if the south pole now of the magnet is pushed into the coil. So now, as we have seen in the video, if the pole is pushed into the coil, it means there will be a deflection because the magnet is moving, but in the opposite direction. So those are the key points that I wanted us to revise as we move on and we look at how now we move from an AC, that is alternating current, to a DC. So an AC, we said we have current that is induced or produced by a simple AC generator. This is the structure of a generator. We did discuss it. We have a U-shaped magnet and a rectangular coil of wire in a magnetic field, and then there are slip rings, and then we have an external circuit. Here in our experiment, in the video that we watched, we saw that we were looking at the galvanometer. Remember, learners, we said here we can have a bulb as well here. So that is how we extend our lightning to the outside when we don't have electricity. Now, the direction of the induced current, remember, we said we use Fleming's right-hand rule to determine the direction of the induced current. Here is a right hand where now the middle finger is showing us the direction of the current. Now, the pointing finger is showing the magnetic field, and the motion here is shown by the thumb. Here's the important point that we said. We said current is induced and it is maximum when the wire and its motion are 90 degrees to the magnetic field. So, learners at home, let us go back to the structure of the AC generator. So it means when we are moving the wire in one direction, that is downward, the current that will be induced there will be determined by the right-hand rule. It means it will be in one direction. The current that is induced on the other side, if the motion is upward now, it is in the other direction. So the direction of flow of current, we say it is alternating. That is moving to the positive and it also moves to the negative. We draw a graph, learners, to show what happens when the wire or the coil, the rectangular coil, is rotated in between the U-shaped magnet. Now, we said the EEC or any other company, we can produce our electricity, distribute electricity in the form of alternating current or voltage. We hear that in our homes, the main supply is usually 240 volts. But inside the radios and our TVs and other appliances that use electricity, most of them, they use the direct current. So it means then now there's a need for a rectifier. What is a rectifier? Okay, so a rectifier is a device that converts an alternating voltage supplied from the main power supply to direct voltage that is used by the appliance. So it doesn't matter if your radio is using DC and EEC is giving us a current or voltage as alternating, we can convert that using the rectifier. So the rectifier that is used is a diode, which is a semiconductor that allows the flow of current in only one direction. So learners at home, that is the important part here, that now we want the current to only flow in one direction, that is direct current. Here is a symbol that we see in our circuits. When we are connecting a circuit as physicists, we always have, or aspiring engineers, we will have a diode in our circuit boards. So this is a symbol here. As we draw the circuit in the lab, there is a positive terminal and there is a negative terminal. This is how it looks like when you want to buy it in a shop. Now, we said a diode here is used in a circuit to convert an AC to a DC. So an AC, how do we see that this is alternating current that is induced? We see the graph. There is positive output, there is also negative output. So here is a diode now connected in a circuit. So after that, we can see the waveform here. There is no negative cycle here. There is nothing underneath to show a negative. So it means the direction of flow of current is in one direction by the use of a diode there. Now, learners at home, why do we first go back to the AC generator and then come to the DC motor? This is all electromagnetic induction. So now we are getting into the DC motor. We'll first describe the similarities and the differences between the AC generator and the DC motor. The components of the DC motor are similar to those of the AC generator. We'll see later on what we mean when we are saying they're similar. We mean the structure is almost the same. But let us just recap what an AC generator does. We rotate a coil in a magnetic field to generate current. A generator has two slip rings attached to the ends of the coil to rotate with the coil. And we have carbon brushes that are pressing slightly on the slip rings to conduct the induced current to the external circuit. How about a motor? We said that the structure of the motor is similar to the structure of the generator. How? As we can see, we still have a U-shaped magnet. As you can see, we still have a rectangular coil of wire, but the main difference, learners, is that now we have slip rings. The slip rings here, number one. Number two, we have connected a battery to the battery now is connected to the coil of wire, which means now force is experienced by a wire carrying current in a magnetic field, and it's used to rotate a coil. So let us look in this thing in detail, or just briefly explain what we mean by that. Here we say we have connected a power supply to the rectangular coil, which means current is flowing through, one, and two, there are also there's also a magnetic field, which means there are magnetic lines here. So for the motor, now we are using current to rotate a coil. So before we get to the motor, let us look at how this rotation comes about, the force. Now, we know that a current carrying conductor induces a magnetic field. That's the first thing. We said we have a temporal magnet, which we called an electromagnet. Okay. So if that conductor is in a magnetic field, then it experiences a force. So we say a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field experiences a force. So which means the wire between the poles of the magnet experiences a force either moving upwards or downwards. So our task, learners, is to determine when do we have the force moving upwards and when do we have the force moving downwards. Let us look at the next diagram. Here is a diagram that shows a U-shaped magnet, and we have connected here the wire or the conductor to a battery, the positive terminal and the negative terminal. Let us remind ourselves that conventional current is always flowing from positive to negative. Thus, we can see these arrows, learners, that show that the current is flowing in this direction. We also can see that the poles, magnetic field lines, are from the north to the south. So now, a wire experiences a force when the current is flowing perpendicular to the magnetic field lines, not along the magnetic field lines. So we can see that in this diagram, learner at home, that now the magnetic field lines and the current, they are 90 degrees or perpendicular to each other. So which means there will be force that is induced there. So we want to see now, when do we have a downward force? Which means here, when the direction of current is changed in this direction, it means the force will be now downward. Okay, so let us look at a question, learners, to help us to understand this. So to determine the direction in which the force is moving, we use our rules. I know it seems like we have so many rules, but it's just easy. Once you get the gist of it, you'll know which one is right, which one is left. The left-hand rule is used to determine the direction in which the force is moving. So, what does the Fleming's left-hand rule say? Fleming's left-hand rule says, again, the pointing finger is showing us the direction of the magnetic field. Now, the middle finger is showing us the direction of the current. Now, the thumb now will show us the direction of the force. Here's a question, learner. I hope now we can use the Fleming's left-hand rule and we understand that a force now, a wire in a magnetic field experiences a force. Let us look at the question. It says, explain what happens when switch S is closed. Before we copy, let's just think about the question. What happens when switch S is closed? First things first, learners, we know that when we close this switch, current will be flowing. So we said the direction in which the current is flowing will obviously determine the direction at which the force is moving. So conventional current is always from positive to negative. Thus, I draw the arrows that shows the direction of current flowing in that direction. Number two, we know that the magnetic field lines are always from north to south. Recall our left-hand rule. Now, our left-hand rule says this is the direction of the current. This is the direction of the field. Let's have a little I there. And this is the direction of the force. So let us answer this question. What happens when switch S is closed? So when switch S is closed, first thing, current flows. So if current flows, it means that force is the wire there will experience a force. So our main duty now is to determine the direction of the force. We'll see where will it go, whether upwards or downwards. So I hope you know how to use the Fleming's left-hand rule by now. Let us use it and see what happens. Current is towards you. Now, north to south, you use the pointing finger. It means the force will be in the upward direction. So how do we answer this question? When switch S is closed, current is flowing in the circuit. That's first thing. A current carrying conductor in a magnetic field experiences a force. Thus, the conductor will move upwards. So this is important for us to know that the conductor will move upwards. We know because we have used Fleming's left-hand rule, so we know in which direction the force is going to be moving. Number 2, it says comment on the direction of the force, or the direction of the current and the magnetic field and the force on the conductor. We said this only happens when the current and the magnetic field are perpendicular to each other. The force then will be there in that wire. Now, learners at home, how do we apply this? The force that is experienced by a wire that is where current is flowing in the wire, and this wire is in a magnetic field. How does it now relate to the turning effect or the motor? Now, in a motor, like we have said, we have a rectangular coil. Now, so current, it means it will be flowing in opposite directions. So if current is flowing in opposite directions, it means the wire will experience force in opposite directions. So the current is from the same source, which means it is equal. So we will have equal opposite forces that are formed. We call this a couple. A couple is just equal opposite forces that are acting in opposite direction. Principle of operation here. When two forces which are equal and opposite are formed, with turning effect cause the coil to rotate. Let us go back a bit and think about this motor, Lena. Now we said here force is acting downward. Here force is acting upward. These forces here are equal. Of course, the coil is going to turn. So that is what we call a turning effect. So sometimes it's called a motor effect because it causes the motor to turn. Now, the speed of rotation of the coil depends on two things, Lena. That is the number of turns in the coil. It is also the amount of current in the amount of current that is flowing through. This turning effect is used in electric motors. Thus, sometimes it is called the motor effect. Other examples of appliances that use the motor or the motor effect are the drills, the fans, the hair dryer, and the loudspeaker. Nogwazi, when I first introduced this lesson, I did talk about the loudspeaker. I hope by now you can now relate the action of the corn of the speaker with the motion now here.
Most definitely.
Yes, my dear. So here it means the coil where current is flowing and it's alternating. This coil or wire is in a magnetic field. Thus, there will be force that is induced. If force is induced, then we will see the movement or the motion. We see the coin of the speaker moving. Let us watch a video, Lena, to see the operation of a fan. As we can see in our screens, we have the motor there. That is just a fan. I tried to show you that inside there's just a coil of wire. So when you connect that wire to a DC power supply, now the fan moves. So we are saying here, the motor effect, basically, it is when the wire is it is when current is causing a wire to rotate inside a magnetic field. Another question, Lena, to help us understand now the motor effect. Here's a question. It says, explain why the coil experiences a turning effect. Explain why the coil experiences a turning effect. Now let us think about this. We said a turning effect is only experienced when the force is acting in opposite directions and they are equal. One may ask, why is there no force along B? Why is there no force along that wire here in B? This is because, remember, learners, we said here for force to be there, the field, let's say a little I there, and the current must be perpendicular to each other. So there is no force experienced along B because of that reason. But because current is flowing in the conductor, current carrying conductor in a magnetic field experiences a force. Since current is in opposite directions, the force is equal, and in opposite directions, that forms a couple. So if two forces that are equal and are in opposite directions, one is pulling up, one is pulling down, it will obviously make the coil to turn. Now my answer says here, it makes the coil to turn clockwise. So it is up to you, Lena, to use Fleming's left-hand rule to determine why we are saying now it is turning clockwise. So I leave that as an assignment, as you think already you know the answer, but now we are going to look at why it is turning clockwise. So let us just go through what we are learning today. What were the main points of today? Now, EMF, we said, it is induced in a coil only when there is a changing magnetic field. We did view from our video that when the magnet is stationary, there is no change. When the wire cuts the magnetic field lines again, that is when we looked at the operation of the AC generator. The application, as we looked at, is the AC generator and transformers. We also used the diode as a rectifier to convert AC to DC. A current carrying conductor in a magnetic field experiences a force. So we related this force to the operation of a motor. We said forces that are equal and in opposite directions cause the coil to turn. We say this turning effect of forces is used in motors. So we've come to the end of our lesson. Viewers at home, I hope you have enjoyed our lesson. Nogwazi, you know how a motor operates. As we can see, our hair dryers, our fans, now we will understand the gist behind it.
Most definitely. Hair dryers, very relatable.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Nozipo, for being with us, and we hope to see you again for another interesting physics lesson.
Most definitely.
Thank you
so much.
From Fives, please do not go anywhere. I will be right back with the chemistry teacher, Mr. Matimela. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Bonana, buyeneni gezeta ndla stokudla.
Okay, Mage. Thabo 70 cents. angeke usebenzise amantophu.
Tandla tami tide umhlaba musnolwazi.
Kutsi tandla takho tide umhlaba kusho ukuthi akukangcola. Kumele tandla sitigeze njalo ngensipho nemanti lahamba kwesikhathi lesingaka 20 seconds njengoba wasifundzisa teacher. Khona kutowesuka kungcola nemagciwane labangakugula.
Thabo, lalela sisi wakho phela Shilo. Kumqoka ukuthi tandla utigeze ngensipho kanye nemanti lahlobile esikhathi lesinganga 20 seconds. Mawutokudla, mawucedza kusebenzisa umthoyi, mawucedza kutsinza tilwane. Noma mawucedza kushintsha linabukeni. Kumele futhi sihlande imithoyi netindzawo lesikude ngalokubulala emagciwane.
Sekusikhathi sekugeza tandla, geza tandla, geza tandla emagciwane akanachance, geza tandla manje. Thela emanti ufake insipho, yonke indzawo, bese uyakata ngemanti, bese uyatisula.
Sanibonani.
Sawubuyile baba.
Izaba ndilethelwa nguVictor Slow. Lo mhla sidawuva kabanti ngesifo se-COVID-19. I-COVID-19 sifo lesibangwa ligciwane le-corona. Lesifo sendluliseka ngekuthi emathe laphuma emlonyeni walonaso nakakhohlela noma khuluma awele tintfweni leti kuleyo ndzawo. Bese loyo longanaso utsinza leto tintfo ngetandla aphinza atsinze emehlo, impumulo noma umlomo. Tindlela ke tekunciphisa amathuba ekuthi uthole lesifo se-COVID-19 noma ekusanzisa. Ungalandzela natinyathelo. Geza tandla ngensipho nemanti lahlobile noma usebenzise isanitizer. Tsimula noma ukhwehlelele ngekhatsi kwengcoza loyigobile noma usebenzise liphepha lekufinya. Lelo phepha ubese ulilahla emgqonyeni. Gwema kutsinza emehlo, impumulo nemlomo ngetandla longakatigezi. Gcina sikhala lesinganga 1 meter emkhatsini wakho nalabanye bantfu. Natsa njalo emanti lahlobile utawugcina umtimba wakho ungiloshukumako. Mawutiva ngathi awusiye lophilile, kumbe uyakhohlela, uyashisa, noma uphefumula kalukhuni, shayela inombolo lethi 977. Khumbula, hlala uphephile, hlala ekhaya.
Ngiyethemba niyeva ukuthi basicwayisa bathini boShiba. Kumqoka kakhulu ukuthi silandzele tonke letinyathelo kude singatholi futhi singasanzisi lesifo se-COVID-19. Futhi kumele sihlale ekhaya kuze siphephe, niyeva kambe?
Yebo babe.
A very warm welcome to our viewers and a very good afternoon to those who have just joined us. And the question is, where have you been? So we are still doing the Form 5 classes, only this time we are doing chemistry with Mr. Aaron Matimela. Mr. Matimela, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm fine, Nowazi. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So what is today's topic about, and what is today's topic actually, and what are you expecting your learner to have learned by the end of this lesson?
Okay, today's lesson is going to be on organic chemistry.
Okay.
This is chemistry of carbon compounds.
Okay.
And I'm hoping to get the learners to get to know of compounds that are contained or they make up basic commodities like food, like medicine, like clothes.
Okay.
Yes, even fuels.
All right. Okay. Form 5s, I hope that you are ready for your it sounds like an interesting chemistry lesson. And please feel free to ask any questions that you might have on our WhatsApp number. And also to remind you, we are live on YouTube and on Facebook. Mr. Matimela, you can start with your lesson.
Okay, thank you very much, Nogwazi, and greetings to my learners, viewers at home. Once again, we meet for another interesting lesson on chemistry. This time we're going to look at organic chemistry, and I have entitled this one as part 1 because, you know, organic chemistry is a very long chapter, so we're going to break it into 2. Now, quickly we can perhaps look at why it's important for us to learn a subject like this one, or rather a topic like this one, organic chemistry. Obviously, I've said already that
This is because organic compounds, they make up a lot of our basic commodities like food, like clothes, like medicine, fuels. Hence, we need to know very well about these compounds. Now, for the purposes of the exam, you also need to be clear about the following objectives. You need to know that petroleum, a substance known as petroleum, is a mixture of hydrocarbons, and it is separated by means of fractional distillation into its fractions. You have to get this one very clearly. You also need to be able to describe characteristics of related groups of hydrocarbons or organic compounds, which we look at, and they are called alkanes, alkenes, alcohols, and the carboxylic acids. We are going to discuss these ones in detail in this lesson. You also are supposed to be able to draw the structures of unbranched hydrocarbons that contain up to 6 carbon atoms. And also, of course, you should be able to distinguish between saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbons from molecular structures and also by chemical tests. Now let us move on to discuss the details of our topic. Now, first of all, let me say that organic compounds, there are millions of compounds that are said to be organic compounds. Actually, organic compounds are compounds that contain carbon, or you can say these are carbon compounds. Now, because there are numerous of these compounds, they are usually classified according to what elements are bonded in the carbon. So, if I may show you this, that, carbon is one element that has potential to bond with up to 4 other atoms. Now, it can also bond with another carbon in the process. Thus, it can form chains whilst it is forming compounds with different elements. Now, because of this ability of carbon, we say the compounds are usually classified according to what elements have bonded with the carbon. Now, if carbon bonds with hydrogen, for example, let me try and show it here. If carbon bonds with hydrogen, now this group alone of compounds is referred to as hydrocarbons. Now, our lesson is going to look much into compounds of carbon, which are called hydrocarbons. So we're going to look at a number of compounds whereby carbon has bonded with hydrogen, and we call them hydrocarbons. Now, another thing that I should mention here is that when carbon bonds with hydrogen to form hydrocarbons, now it can also bond with this hydrogen in various ways. So that we have different hydrocarbons. For example, if carbon bonds with hydrogen such that a simple chain like this one is formed, this forms a different class of hydrocarbons. Now, in other instances, you will see that the carbon can also bond such that the chain has a double bond somewhere. Now, this also forms a different family or a different group of hydrocarbons. We will also see carbon bonding with other other substances like a hydroxide, and then this will also form a different group of compounds. Now, I said here in our lesson we're going to focus on hydrocarbons, but the hydrocarbons themselves, they have different families, which we call the homologous series. And you must master this term, homologous series. These are different families of hydrocarbons. Now, our study is going to focus on a family of related hydrocarbons known as alkanes, and another group known as alkenes, also alcohols and carboxylic acids for today. Now, one thing about these hydrocarbons is that they are found as a constituent in fossil fuels. Yes. Now, fossil fuels, these are remains of plant and animal materials that have died millions of years ago and were buried underground, and out of high pressure and heat they convert to substances known as fossil fuels. One of them is petroleum or crude oil, which is a liquid substance. Another one is coal, the coal that we know, and another one is a gas known as natural gas. I hope you are still following. Now, the process by which these hydrocarbons can be extracted from the crude oil, for example, is fractional distillation. I said crude oil is a liquid, so it can be boiled, and the components or the fractions in the substance crude oil can be actually be separated using this apparatus here. Now, dear learner at home, you are supposed to know that the fractions, you are supposed to know the fractions as well as the uses of these fractions. Like at the top there, you find that there is the gaseous substances are extracted. At the bottom, heavier ones are removed or rather extracted when this substance is boiled, the crude oil. So get familiar with this process of fractional distillation of crude oil to extract the different fuels. Now, I talked about a group of related hydrocarbons, which we also term as family or a homologous series. Now, I want us to discuss characteristics of what we call a homologous series, now that you understand it's a group of related hydrocarbons. Now, one thing about homologous series is that it has the same general formula. You find that hydrocarbons that make one family, they have in common the same general formula. I will show you an example as we discuss individual homologous series. And then they also have similar chemical properties. Now, this is because each member in a homologous series has the same functional group. Now, a functional group is a group of atoms that are unique to a set of hydrocarbons. We will see examples of functional groups as we proceed. Now, another characteristic of homologous series is that there are physical properties such as boiling points, even melting points. They change gradually as the number of carbon atoms increase. You remember that I said when carbon bonds with other elements, it can form a chain when carbon bonds to another carbon, and when this chain grows, it means the physical properties of the hydrocarbon are also going to change, like boiling point. I have mentioned that. Now, let us look at how we name organic compounds that form a homologous series, because this is very important for the exam. Now, names of members in a homologous series, they consist of two parts. The name consists of two parts. That is the prefix and the suffix of the name. Now the prefix, that is the starting part of the name, it usually tells us how many carbon atoms are in that molecule, whereas the suffix tells us which family of the hydrocarbons does it belong. Now let me make an example. If you find that in the name, the name starts with meth. Meth means one carbon, that the compound has one carbon. Eth means 2, prop means 3, but means 4, pent means 5, hex means 6. Now these prefixes are actually taken from Roman numerals. These are prefixes taken from numbers that in Roman counting system. Then we said the prefix has this, that is the Roman numeral counting system. Now you should also note that at the end of the name you will always see either the name ending with "ein" or "in" or "all" or "oic acid." Now if the name ends with "ein," it means the family to which that carbon belongs to are the alkanes. If it ends with "in," it means the family to which the hydrocarbon belongs to are the alkenes. All as for the alcohols, and oic acid is for the carboxylic acid. So this system is used to actually name the groups of, or rather the members of every family of hydrocarbons. Let us proceed perhaps to see examples. For example, alkanes. Alkanes, they have a general formula, CN H2N plus 2. You have to master this formula. This is the general formula. All alkanes can be identified by this formula, where N is the number of carbon atoms. They can be 1, 2, 3, 4, and as many as they can be. And the names, I have already said that all alkanes have the ending "ein." And one other thing about alkanes, they are said to be saturated. Now, what does this mean? To be saturated, it means in the chain, let us look at these chains. For example, let us start with this one. In the chain, all the carbons are joined, or rather every carbon has a single bond around it. No carbon has a double bond. Now it means no more substances can be added to this. The first 4 are gases and the next 12 are liquids. Alkenes, they have this general formula. They end with "in," we have already said, and for them they are unsaturated, meaning that they have a double bond somewhere. A chain of alkenes will always be identified with a double bond, and this is called their functional group. And then we also have alcohols, which are identified by this general formula, and the ending "all" I've already said, and they contain the OH group. Now we will see that in all these structures the hydrocarbons have an OH group, which is the functional group. This is what identifies alcohols in all the hydrocarbons that are said to be alcohols. And then carboxylic acids, on the other hand, they have this general formula. And please note that for carboxylic acids, the number of carbon atoms, they begin with 0. The first one has 0 carbon atoms, so that it is C1. And then the second one, you have 1 carbon, so that there are 2 carbons, as you can see. And then the third one has 3 carbons, and so on and so on. Now, using this formula, you should be able to draw these structures and practice. And also note that the functional group for carboxylic acids is COOH, or drawn like this. Now, before I end my lesson, I have prepared 2 questions for you. One of the questions is that you should be given structures like these ones. Identify organic compounds that are represented by these structures. One which is a first member of its homologous series. Now, remember general formula. And then you note that 2 and 4, these are first members of homologous series. 2 are the is ethane actually. 2 is ethane, and then 4 is methanoic acid. And then number B, identify the organic compound that is used for sterilizing skin before injection. Those are the alcohols. I've mentioned that they are used for sterilizing. Alcohols are also used as a constituent of wine. Number 2, name the compound. The compounds ethanol and methanol belong to the same homologous series. Name this homologous series. These are alcohols, all of them. Ethanol and methanol, they are all alcohols. Now, describe one characteristic that shows that ethanol and methanol are in the same homologous series. Now, they have the same functional group or the same general formula. This is how you identify compounds that are in the same homologous series. Now, in summary, we've said organic compounds are compounds containing containing carbon. Compounds that are containing carbon and are usually classified according to the elements that are bonded to the carbon. Examples are hydrocarbons, and we say they are obtained from fossil fuels. Now, those that are related are referred to as a homologous series. Our lesson focused on alkanes, alkenes, alcohols, and carboxylic acids as families of related hydrocarbons. And in their naming, we said they contain Roman numeral prefix, which tell us the number of carbon atoms, and they have special endings such as "-ane", "-in", "-ol", or "-oic", which tell us the family to which these belong. And then this whole information can be put in a table where alkanes, they have the ending "-ane", and they have this general formula. Alkenes have ending "-in", with CN to N as a general formula, and please note that they have a functional group C double bonded to another C. And then we have alcohols, which have this OH functional group, and carboxylic acids, which have this functional group. And please note their ending, the ending in their names as well. I hope you have followed very well this lesson. It's an introduction. We'll keep repeating a lot of these concepts as we discuss further the properties of these 4 groups of related hydrocarbons or organic compounds. Nogwazi, I don't know if we still have time, but I think my lesson has come to an end at this point.
Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but I'm glad that you were able to finish your lesson, Mr. Matimela. Thank you very much, and I'm sure the Form 5s are looking forward actually to part 2 of this lesson of organic compounds.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Matimela. Viewers, Form 5s will be right back. Me and Lerato actually will be right back after this. The basic protective measures against the new coronavirus. Wash your hands frequently and thoroughly with soap and water, or use alcohol-based hand rub. Maintain social distancing. Maintain at least 1 meter distance between yourself and anyone who is coughing or sneezing. Avoid touching eyes, nose, and mouth. Hands touch many surfaces and can pick viruses.
Once contaminated, hands can transfer the virus to your eyes, nose, or mouth. From there, the virus can enter your body and make you sick. Practice respiratory hygiene. Make sure you and the people around you follow good respiratory hygiene. This means covering your mouth and nose with your bent elbow or tissue when you cough or sneeze. Dispose the used tissue immediately. If you have fever, cough, and difficulty breathing, seek medical help early. Stay home if you feel unwell. Follow the directions of your local health authority. Stay informed and follow advice given by your healthcare provider.
Learn to cough and sneeze with your pal Grover. Step 1. Realize you are about to sneeze. Step 2. Move your elbow towards your nose and mouth. Step 3. Bless you. 1, 2, 3. Remember to cough and sneeze into your arm or elbow, not your hands. Learn to cough and sneeze with your pal Grover. Step 1. Realize you are about to sneeze. Step 2. Move your elbow towards your nose and mouth. Step 3. Bless you. 1, 2, 3. Remember to cough and sneeze into your arm or elbow, not your hands.
When we talk of screening, basically, this is a preventative measure of finding out if there's any problem that may present as a result. So when you screen, you're trying to find out whether it exists or not, the problem. So in our case, the idea of screening is to ensure that everyone does not present with high temperature. So anyone who's presenting with higher temperature than usual is then picked up, and then from then on you'll then be tested to make sure that you have the virus or not. That is the main difference.
Eswatini sibambisene kulwa nekwanza kuligciwane le-corona.
Welcome back to our viewers, and what a very interesting day it has been, and what a lovely day it has been. Unfortunately, we have to love and leave you. Lerato, how was today for you?
Today was interesting indeed, Nobazi. I really enjoyed today's jam-packed session.
It's always jam-packed. Yes, it is. And just to remind you, Lerato is going to give you the timetable for tomorrow.
Well, from 3s, grade 7s, and from 5s, tomorrow's timetable is as follows. We have mathematics from 2 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. and then we have religious education for the Form 3 learners from 2:30 p.m. to 3:08 p.m. and then we have English language for the Form 3s again from 3:08 p.m. to 3:45 p.m. and then we have mathematics for the Form 5s from 3:45 p.m. to 4:25 p.m. and then lastly we have English language for the Form 5s from 4:25 p.m. to 5 p.m. So grade 7s, Form 3s and Form 5s, get ready for another jam-packed
day. Yes, and just to remind you viewers back at home, we are live on Facebook and on YouTube from 2 p.m. until 5 p.m. and also you can use our WhatsApp line to ask any questions that you might have.
Yes, and emphasis on the do not call part, guys. Please do not call, especially when we're live. Please do not
please do not call. And also just a note, please ask relevant questions that are relevant to the subject that you are watching. Please, we ask you to do that. And please stay safe, stay at home, and also let me just go back to
anyway, they need the letters, so
and just to go back to that point of asking relevant questions, just get straight to the point. Just ask your questions and we'll know what question you're asking. We'll know what subject that you're asking it for.
Okay, thank you very much for watching, viewers. Goodbye. Love you.
Love you.